If Doctor Strange saw
So where are we hiding
14
his body?
million other realities, did he see one where Ant-Man went up Thanos?
How much you want to bet he did, and he's all like, you know what, we're not going to do that, so let's just say there's only one. Let's just say there's only one possibility.
See, honestly, with Thanos and his, his face, I honestly think that Ant-Man went up his ass, expanded, and Thanos is like, butthole clenches! Then fucking killed him.
Wait,
what is he from South Park? Does he have brain control?
Yes.
I want to know something. So if Ant-Man does that, what happens if Thanos shits at the same time?
No, see, that's how Ant-Man got up there in the first place. Thanos had to take a shit.
Yes.
Thanos is in this. Thanos is in this movie, guys.
Okay, guys, you ready?
Wait.
Okay, make sure you have your things in hand. Alright.
Everyone ready?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3.
Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, this is Ethan of Pixel Adventure Commentaries. Thank you for checking out this video. Before we begin, I'd like to give a spoiler disclaimer for this video. If you haven't seen Avengers Endgame yet, then please stop watching now. It should be a given, but this video is contained with spoilers upon spoilers. So if you want to experience the movie in its full glory, then it's best not to watch this video. Or any video that discusses this movie for that matter. If you're still here because you have seen the movie, then fantastic. Welcome to the podcast. Please sure to leave this video a like and to subscribe to our channel. Now, without any further ado, enjoy the Avengers Endgame Impressions video.
Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, to the Avengers Endgame movie podcast.
Woo!
Finally.
Insert applause here.
It's what we've been waiting for so long, and
10 years.
you know you know what, you've probably seen other podcasts of it, but you know what, it's our turn. So
Yes.
and with us today is a lot more than our usual gang. There's me and returner Alec.
Yo, what's good?
From the other 3 podcasts, and River returning from the Captain Marvel podcast.
What up, yo?
And then we also have 2 newcomers for a movie podcast. We have Bryan, which
Hello.
you may know from our Winter Smash 2017, who got royally smashed.
Yeah.
And newcomer to the channel, Colin.
Yeah, boy! Came from my, basement.
This is the first time he's been out of his basement in 10 years.
I thought the sun was a block in the sky till I saw Avengers Endgame.
Oh, man. All right. Now, it's what we usually do is start off with a 1-sentence summary of what we think of the movie, everyone, and then we get into a synopsis of what events happened in order, and then we just go on about random thoughts afterwards.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so
basically we just fuck around the entire
Gotcha.
podcast.
oh yeah, because like I have editing freedom over this one. So yeah, you guys know how it works.
Yeah.
So, what did y'all think of the movie?
Let's start with Bryan.
What? Okay. So, like a 1-sentence summary of this film.
Sure.
I think a 1-sentence summary for this film would be I got one word. Satisfying. It's a satisfying film throughout because it's able to end the story for so many characters, but also leave room open for the characters that are still gonna continue making films. And so I think the only thing I can say is just satisfying.
Satisfying. Yes. All right. River?
I kind of agree with Bryan. It's my new favorite MCU movie. Originally it was Civil War, but now it is Endgame.
Awesome.
And that's my thoughts.
Alec?
Oh my god! He's legit crying!
They ask you how you are, and you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it because they would never understand.
It's so emotional.
Yeah, but it was a really good movie. The end was like really fucking emotional.
Oh man.
Oh, you know.
Depressing people.
Me!
But yeah.
Alright. Colin?
I got tissues.
I just gotta say it the millennial way. Best movie of 2019. Must see. Like, what else is there to say?
Alright, what I thought of it, it's like I've been saying before, I expected for an end to this part of the MCU, but I also expected more heartbreak. But I found it in a way that I wasn't expecting, and that's what we'll be getting into detail later.
Yeah.
All right. So now, as we begin the basic synopsis.
Well, I want to hear like behind the scenes that you were on.
Oh no, we can save that for after the synopsis.
Yeah, sure.
Alright.
All right. So, from my understanding, you three saw it yesterday, right? Brian, Alec, and Colin.
Yes, I saw it.
Real quick for the dumb people in the room, what is this 5-syllable word synopsis?
Synopsis.
It's
Synopsis. It's basically
I didn't say I
like
could
a
count.
breakdown.
Like a plot summary kind of thing, like what happened in the film.
basically scene by scene.
Well, we open up with this wide shot.
We open up with Ant-Man in Thanos' ass.
We open up with this title crawl that goes in space and the text is yellow.
Dun, dun, dun.
But no, legit. How did this film start off?
It started off kind of like the end to Infinity War, if I remember.
Yeah,
right.
it starts. It literally starts right after, like literally moments after the end of Infinity War, after everyone has been snapped away. It takes place moments after.
Moments before. Moments
Yeah,
right
yeah,
before.
Moments right before.
Right before the snap. Like 2
yeah.
minutes before the snap.
Oh, that's right, because Hawkeye
Hawkeye.
opens it.
Yeah,
Hawkeye
yeah.
opens
Yeah.
it.
Hawkeye hanging out with his family.
And
Teaching his daughter how to shoot bow and arrow, correct?
what if his daughter is the next Hawkeye?
Whoa.
Honestly,
What
that's
if?
probably where they're going with it.
Honestly. But like he's teaching his daughter to shoot the bow and arrow. The camera drifts off of the daughter for a second. It's like, hey child, where'd you go?
Because his wife calls for him and says dinner, like food's ready, because they're outside, because Barton lives on a farm, so they're outside, they're having fun in the fields. His two sons are playing catch, while he's again, as we said, he's teaching his daughter how to shoot a bow and arrow. His wife calls for him. He turns away literally for seconds, turns back, and then you don't see his daughter anymore. And then he turns back, and his entire rest of his family is gone. And he's trying to find them. And then that's when it cuts to Iron Man and Nebula on the ship.
Yeah.
But one thing that I thought was really weird was when his wife asked, "Do they want mayonnaise? Like mustard with mayonnaise
On a hot dog.
Like what the fuck?
That's why I love Barton, because he's all like, who puts mayo on a hot dog?
Yeah, honestly, who does put mayo on a hot
Exactly.
dog?
My favorite
On
part
a
in that
burger,
scene-
I get.
My
Yeah,
favorite
yeah.
part in that scene, though, is when she's asking her sons, like, what do you guys want in your hot dog? Ketchup?
That's like you still don't put ketchup on
Then
a
she's
hot
like,
dog.
we
Yes,
had
you
that
do.
too.
Yes.
Alright.
It's a normal thing.
You put ketchup on a hot dog?
No, the normal is mustard and relish, maybe onions.
That's normal, but we're not normal.
No. we demand ketchup in this society.
Yes.
Wait, you guys don't put toothpaste on your hot dogs?
You do that too? I thought I was the only one.
So that's how you guys keep your teeth clean.
That and my Altoid addiction.
Yeah. Hell yeah, Altoids.
Where are the Altoids?
Alrighty.
All right,
So,
Iron
after that
Man and
scene-
Nebula on the ship.
Yep. I love their football. Their
Yeah,
Their
football
introduction when they're doing the football thing where you create the gates. with your
I love
fingers.
Nebula doing that, because Nebula and Drax are so similar to the point where they don't take things. They take everything literally.
Right.
And with Nebula, with her backstory, even though they're just playing a simple game, her backstory is entirely coming out in this scene, because even if you didn't know anything about her, just the way that she's interacting with Iron Man, you can tell that she comes from a backstory where she has never been the winner.
Yeah.
Correct. Yes.
Because when she finally beats Tony Stark, she's she's surprised that she won, because her and Gamora's backstory is that Gamora always beat her.
Mm-hmm.
And even then, when Tony first flicks the football, she freaking snapped at it like she's about to fight the little...
Yeah.
She's like, ah! It's like, okay, you don't need to do that. Just calm down.
I think we can safely say now that Nebula is one of the greatest written characters in this movie.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
So much character development.
Exactly.
So then after we meet, so then Tony Stark gives this amazing monologue towards Pepper in the form of a message to Pepper Potts. And then after the monologue's over, he starts to doze off. He starts to sleep, and then Nebula comes, picks him up, and takes him onto the bridge and straps him into one of the chairs.
Yeah.
And then that's when he wakes up to this bright light, and then we see Miss Feminism herself, Captain Marvel.
Miss Feminism.
Miss Feminism in human form, Captain Marvel.
Not at this point of the movie. Not Miss Feminism yet. But so
wait till the climax. Wait till the climax, everybody.
We then cut to a scene on Earth where she's carrying the ship, and she lands, and everyone's walking out because Captain America notices while he's shaving that the mirrors are shaking. So he goes outside with I think Sam and
no, it's not Sam. It's not Sam. It's Rhodey. It's Rhodey and Natasha.
Yeah. Rhodey and Natasha. And then
Sam got snapped.
And Bruce as well. And then they see the ship, Bruce. And Tony comes. Oh no, Pepper.
Yeah,
that's right. Pepper was there too.
And Thor, right?
No, Thor doesn't. Thor was not.
He's still inside. He's inside.
As Rocket put it, he's pissed off.
Yeah, he's pissed off. But yeah, Captain Marvel just brings the ship down to Earth and returns Iron Man and Nebula to Earth.
But I actually low-key thought Iron Man was gonna like pass out and die, like, because
right at the beginning of the film. Just that's the end, nothing more. Just end credits there.
Yeah, because like we basically had no idea how Iron Man and Nebula were gonna get back down to Earth before this.
One thing I love about that scene, absolutely, is how they get Tony to look completely emaciated, like he hasn't eaten very well or sleep very well.
Oh, that reminds me. During the monologue, we see like glimpses of like their life on the ship, just being adrift in the sea of space. And there's this one little segment that's literally lasts seconds where Tony's eating something, what looks to be beef jerky. I don't remember, but he's about to give it to Nebula, and then Nebula pushes it back towards him because even Nebula can see that he is losing muscle mass. Like you can tell that he is losing muscle mass because of how well nourished he is, how malnourished he is. Malnourished, not well nourished.
He's definitely not well nourished.
No, he's not.
Like you can literally see the bones around his arc reactor, and it's just like, wow, that's real.
So like I'm skinny, and even that's too skinny. Like damn, dude.
Oh yeah, and from his experiences, like you can still tell that he's still pissed off at Captain America.
Oh yeah,
even it's been like 3 years since Civil War.
Especially in the next scene that we see them in, because after they've all reunited and stuff, it cuts to like them being inside, and what's his face? Iron Man is in like the he has an IV. That's what it is. He has an IV in him. He's in a wheelchair and he's trying to recover. And then him and Captain America have this great interaction between each other, where Captain America is still like in his America mode of like, we need to look on the bright side of things and stuff like that.
Right.
Where he's like, look, you didn't just lose up there. We lost down here as well. Because they tried their best to stop Thanos as well as best they could, and even then they still lost. And then Iron Man is all like, "Look, when I needed you, and you weren't there."
Yeah.
Because when Iron Man was up in space, he lost Peter Parker right there in his arms.
Mr. Stark.
The kid that he has been mentoring for ever since Homecoming
and protecting too.
Yeah.
Even in Infinity War, he tried to get Peter off the ship, and he scolded him for coming with. He's like, "You're not supposed to be here."
Yeah.
I mean, since you are
like,
here,
if you're nothing without the suit, then you don't deserve it.
Exactly, which is like the tagline for Homecoming.
Yeah. But yeah, no, that's it's a great interaction between the two, and I absolutely love that scene where when Captain America, because even after all these, because Iron Man even brought back the point of we need to put a suit of armor around the world. Who is calling me? Excuse you! I gotta take this.
I'm leaving that in.
So I especially love that scene because Cap is in this like, we gotta find Thanos mode. Did he give you any clues, anything? And like I specifically remember Stark is like, no, I have no clues, no nothing for you. I don't have anything for you. I don't trust you, especially after everything you've done. I don't trust you at all.
Right. It's basically is saying that if they hadn't done the Civil War, they could have potentially beaten Thanos better.
Especially like looking back on it, Cap. If Cap didn't just sign the paper and the Avengers were to build their strength a whole lot more, use the world governments with them instead of partially with them and partially against them,
right,
then maybe things could have honestly been different.
It's a whole coulda, shoulda, woulda whole ordeal, but they just gotta accept the facts now.
And then one of the more powerful scenes with Tony Stark in this movie is when he rips the arc reactor off his chest. He's like, "Here, you take this. You put it on when you fight Thanos, and you win." And he just passes out right then and there.
Well, remember, it's not his arc reactor. It's just his Mark whatever suit.
Yeah.
No, yeah.
Because he
back
got
in
his,
Iron Man 3. That's when
right. Yeah, he
reactor.
got it surgically removed because he didn't need it anymore.
No, it's because he took the
poison.
virus thing that Killian was using.
Oh,
he
yeah.
took enough of it to where it wouldn't like make him explode and get fire powers, but he took enough of it to where it would heal him.
Okay.
And so that's what happened. So then he no longer needed that arc reactor, and then he just threw it in the ocean and said, "I'm no longer going to be Iron Man," even though we still have an Iron Man.
Oh yeah, Iron Man 3 is done for that.
Yeah, no, it is. Iron Man 3, to sum it up, is just PTSD. That's all Iron Man 3 is. PTSD actors.
Oh yeah, and probably like the worst plot twist ever.
Oh, probably, most definitely.
Besides,
But anyway, back to the point of Avengers Endgame with the mock whatever suit. Whatever we're on now.
I think we're on like 70, 50 something.
70, 50 something. That sounds about right.
We're on Mach 3000.
Yes.
Heartfelt. Yes. Okay. I'll leave my house for you guys. But anyways, no. So yeah. So then after he passes out, they said that he's going to be out for the rest of the day, and then that's when finally. Oh, that's right. Rocket's here too.
Mm-hmm.
Rocket's here too. And then that's when we finally get Thor, his first big scene in the film, his first prominent scene, where where Captain Marvel's here and she's all like, "What's wrong with him?" And they like explain what happened to Thor, how he lost half his people, and how he lost Asgard, and how he's gone through all this shit.
Yeah, because think about it, like the events between Ragnarok, Infinity War, and Endgame just happened like that.
Yeah. It was literally right after each other. It was right after
directly
each other.
right after each other. Maybe like a week or month, whatever.
And so just Thor has gone through all this stuff at the same time, right after each other, and so he's just pissed off.
And not only that, because like also his mother and his brother died.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he has to suffer with all of that.
Yep. So now he's just completely pissed off at Thanos and wants revenge. And he had the moment to stop the snap, and yet, as Thanos said, you should have gone
for the head.
Which we'll get to in a little bit.
Which leads us right into the next plot progression, is that they are tracking an activity of the Infinity Stones all across the universe.
Yep.
And apparently there is Infinity Stone activity on some distant planet that's like 23 planets away. I don't fucking know.
Yeah.
But like,
but we'll call this planet the farm for now, because that's what Nebula refers it to.
I thought it was the garden.
It's the garden, yeah.
It's the garden.
So Nebula's like, I always wanted to please Thanos, even disassembled. I'd always ask, where would we go when this plan succeeded? And then he'd be like, he'd always say the garden, the garden, the garden. And then that leads to Rocket being like, well, recently,
Like
Earth
when the snap happened, when all the Infinity Stones were used, there was this giant wave of radiation that emanated from Earth. 2 days ago, that same amount of radiation appeared on this planet. It's this way.
yeah.
And so then as a group they all go to the garden. And then that's when we cut to Thanos in dad form, in garden form.
Yeah, I really wish they had like explored more with like what does Thanos do? What does a bad guy do once he's won?
Yeah.
He
I
retires and dies alone and in pain.
He has a retirement plan, okay? He has a 401k set out.
He has a 401k.
So then Captain Marvel's like, let's go.
Mhm.
And then Thor is like, alright, let's go.
Yeah.
He-
I like this
this
girl
one.
because she didn't flinch when he called Stormbreaker. She didn't
Yeah.
flinch, she just like gave like a little smirk. And
That's
so he's
smart.
all like, I like this one. So they go. Captain Marvel's all like, hold up, stay here for a hot minute. Let me go check and see if they got defenses. Comes back, no defenses. It's just him. So then they go down. They ambush Thanos. They are able to tie him down. Thor cuts off his arm, and then they see that the stones aren't there. And so they ask what Thanos did with the stones, and he says that as soon as he got to the garden, he used the stones to destroy the stones and reduce them to nothing but atoms as they should be after, because he has no use for them now that half the universe is gone. He has no use for them. And then this is when I get one of my favorite lines from Nebula of because Rhodey's all like, you're lying, and so Nebula says,
my father is many things, but a liar.
he is
He's
not.
not.
And and then as soon as Nebula said that, just chills.
Because it's absolutely true.
Yeah, it is. Thanos said that he would do all these things, and he did. He fulfilled
did,
his
and he
promise.
won,
He
and-
kept the truth, and
yeah.
he won. And so then like he starts giving the speech, and then during the middle of it, Thor cuts off his head, and they're all like, "Why did you do that?" I went for the head.
I aim for the head.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. That's
And then
Thor went after the two theories that people wanted him to do. Go for the arm, go for the head, movie over.
Cut off his arm, cut off his head, movie's over.
Yeah, and so then you think like, oh wow, that was a really short film.
Yeah.
It fades to black and everything,
And then the credits roll.
And then the credits roll.
Credits start to roll, and then they're all like,
Here, directed by George Lucas.
and then it just stops, right? It just rewinds a little bit, and then it says 5 years later.
The-
Which
the one-
I honestly was not expecting a time skip.
Yeah,
in
no,
this
neither
movie.
was I.
especially of that magnitude, like 5 whole years.
Of
Yeah.
half the universe being gone, and the first thing we see is a wide shot of what New York looks like with half of the
Which is still pretty populated, to be honest.
Yeah,
but-
it really is. But like you can see that it is getting a little bit decrepit, especially with City Field, with the baseball field. It's getting a little bit decrepit, even though it's only been 5 years. And then we see Captain America leading this group therapy kind of thing. Where,
Did any of you realize one of the people in the group therapy was one of the Russo brothers?
Yes,
Yeah,
and it
yeah.
was actually the guy talking about how he went on a date.
Yeah.
It was
and
the
then-
guy talking that was which Russo brother was it?
I actually don't know their names.
It was one of them.
And then there was another like director like in that little group. I don't know who. It
Another
was.
one?
Yeah.
Both Russo brothers were in it?
I don't think it was both Russo brothers, but it was like another director or like an artist or something like that. Like I just watched a YouTube video and it was it was talking about how there's like two people in that little group session.
Gotcha. But yeah, no. So he's so Captain America is basically like leading this group therapy session about how like even though they're gone, we need to be able to move forward because he even gives a little bit of a recap on his backstory of how he went into the ice back in like 40
Yeah.
and then he came out 70 years later. Yes, Ethan, he came out. Thank you for accepting this joke, Ethan. We got Ethan's approval.
Of the ice. Roll credits.
So then that's the end of like the group therapy section, and then we see Tony Stark and what happened to him after the 5 years, and he
Had a kid.
yeah.
Had a kid.
And now one thing that now I'm just realizing this. One thing that one tone difference in the shots is that when it's in the Captain America part of the section, usually when you see Captain America, whenever he's on screen, it's more bright and stuff. But this is when we finally get to see him in a dark setting. And then when it cuts to Iron Man, usually if we see Iron Man in like a more dark setting, especially in his own films, usually when he's fighting, it's usually at nighttime. Think of the Iron Man films. Some of the biggest climaxes have been at night.
some of the biggest climaxes have been at night.
When he went up against Obadiah, when he and War Machine were fighting off all the drones
Yeah.
in Iron Man 2, it was all at night. And yet now we see him in a lighter setting. We see him during the daytime with his kid, and it just like sends chills of just seeing of seeing their roles basically being reversed now.
You know, that I think that is an attention to detail that only the biggest of MCU fans will ever catch on to.
That's why I'm here, everybody. That's why I'm here. And so just to see those just those tiny details just be switched for two of the biggest most prominent characters in the MCU, just whoo, man.
Yeah. So basically, the two ideologies that are straying from both Captain America and Iron Man is that Cap wants to refix everything that's happened ever since the snap, and then Iron Man just thinks living this way is the way it's gonna happen.
Yeah, because
now.
he has a family to care for now. He has things to lose.
It's called acceptance. He has acceptance of what has happened. And he knows that there's no way.
They're both experiencing one of the 5 stages of grief. Iron Man is now at acceptance. He has accepted everything that has happened and says, "Let's move on." While Captain America is kind of at that bargaining state. Well, he will take anything to be able to go back and fix the snap.
Right.
That's why when Ant-Man finally comes into the picture and says that and like has this plan about like using the quantum zone. Captain America's all like, you know what? Let's do it. Like just right away without even
just
questioning.
Like without even questioning.
He's just immediately like, okay.
Let's do time travel. But like, hold on. I want to go back a bit, just right to the 5-year skip.
Yeah.
What the heck was Black Widow and the others doing? What was their purpose?
They were Black Widow has basically been leading this group of teams, and their mission is basically to go out and like. Anything that happens, like any big crime activity or any big like threats, you need to report to Natasha. That's why she makes an earthquake a really big deal in Wakanda. She makes an earthquake a really big deal and saying like, "Is there any way you can fix it?" And Okoye is all like, "No, it's an earthquake underwater. Just let it happen."
So would it be a safe assumption to say that the Avengers right now is trying to avenge what happened by just stopping regular crimes?
Yeah,
they're basically crowd control. Technically, they're trying to keep the world in place.
But it actually gave one of my favorite funny lines of Captain Marvel is all like, "Okay, well I gotta go, and I'm probably not gonna be back for a few months." And Roger's all like, "What? You gotta get another haircut?"
No, it was like I thought the joke was like, "I'm not gonna be back for another month. Yeah, I'm not gonna be seen again until the end of the film." Thanks, guys.
Pretty much.
I just want to say now that Captain Marvel is so underutilized in this movie.
Yeah, no, she really is.
Especially when the build-up for Infinity War and her standalone movie was to see her in Endgame, what she'd do. Mm-hmm. And then pretty much the purpose, killing Thanos is done in the first act. So
yeah, she really doesn't have a big role in this film, which I was kind of upset about because I was really wanted to see like how can they do Captain Marvel in the big team up film.
They can.
Yeah, because she was teased in Infinity War, and then she had her standalone movie, and now we get to see her in her group setting. And usually when we see people come into a group setting in the MCU, it's like this big moment. They're able to show off their skills in a group. But then with Captain Marvel, they're all like, you know what? You're a little too overpowered for this. You go do your own thing, and then we'll call you back when we need you. Okay?
But the actual chronological order of things is we see this rat basically in this storage room with this van.
Yeah, it's a U stored in San Francisco, and through the power of Deus Machina rats, we're able to get a rat that just happens to crawl over the control scheme in the truck that sends
that was, I think that should have been done better.
Yeah, no, it really should have.
Yeah, if Ant-Man had found his own way to escape out of there.
Mm-hmm.
That's just so coincidental.
It really is.
We love our Marvel plot holes. Thor in Infinity War, Thor is on this star. I need to get back to Earth. Oh yeah, your axe can summon the Bifrost. Cool, bruh. Goes back to Earth.
We
need something to get the movie rolling. Rat summons Ant-Man. Alright, bet. Rad just steps on that button.
Like, you're not wrong, Colin. You're not wrong.
You know, I don't even understand how that's happening, because like that control panel is actually how the van shrinks and grows. That's,
Yeah.
like, that's not the quantum realm thing.
Yeah, because
So like, why they changed it?
In the post-credit scene to Ant-Man and Wasp, you see that in order to control the quantum realm, they were at a separate control panel outside the van, and yet in this film, it's somehow in the van.
I think they just retconned it because they still have that mentality later in the film.
But basically, Ant-Man comes out of the quantum realm. Oh my god. How many times do I have to get this joke? Dang it! So Ant-Man finally gets out of the quantum zone through the power of rats. And we see that he's in a used store.
U-Haul, yes.
Yeah, and then he has this sign that he makes a sign that says "Help," as we see a security guard played by a really good comedian.
Yes.
Even though he has like no lines.
I don't even know who you're talking about.
What?
Who?
He's a comedian. I don't even remember his name. He was one of the judges on The Masked Singer.
I don't even know what that is.
Anyways, no. Let's not even get onto the question.
So he's got his little pulley cart. He's walking down the street. The guard is looking at him like, "Get the fuck out of here!"
Exactly. What the fuck you been doing here? And then we see him go to where his daughter and his wife live. His ex-wife.
Honestly, he's actually just strolling through the town, seeing what happened.
Well,
because everything is so trash.
Yeah, it really
almost
is.
as if a tornado had gone through.
Yeah. And like we see all these different like missing posters on like
posters,
on
and then we
electric
finally
poles.
get to like a huge cemetery of the
Yeah.
vanished.
Yeah, because he goes to this kid and he's all like, "Hey man, what happened here?" And the kid says nothing to him, and then that's when he
Because honestly, everyone should know what happened.
Yeah, and like that's when he starts like piecing things. Like he's like, "Okay, what's going on here?" And then somehow he gets to this giant memorial of everyone who died from the snap.
Right.
And we see just these like
huge.
It's basically like the Vietnam memorial or like the 9/11 memorial, but on a bigger scale.
Yeah.
Yeah, say say 200 square acres.
It's this huge memorial
erections.
And we literally see from Ant-Man's point of view coming up to this thing, these like little stones, and you're like, oh, those kind of look like gravestones. And then until you see a person like a third of the size of the stone, and you're like, whoa. Okay,
right.
Yeah.
Like at first you see, oh, it's just like kind of a United States sort of.
Yeah. But then as soon as you get closer, it's 3 columns, and each column has like 20 or so names on it.
It wasn't even like columns, because it's like it was trying to fit every single name as much as it could.
And it's filled front and back.
Yeah.
Front and back, this thing that's like 9-10 feet tall, and there's literally hundreds of them. And I think honestly that's just for New York. Like that
was just for San Francisco. Because that's where Ant-Man was at the time of the story. He was in San Francisco. That's just San Francisco.
Wow.
And so just to see the scale of the snap is just beyond anything any of us could have imagined. To see a giant memorial set up.
It gives the audience an idea of how impactful the snap was, other than just saying 50% of all living things.
And also, I love the decision that they had like other people at the memorial too, to show that people are still looking to see if loved ones had passed, to see if like loved ones have passed away during the snap, because like you see other people there. Looking at names and seeing like, is there anyone here? Like what happened?
Which is exactly what Scott does. Because his very first
Scott's
instinct
looking for Cassie, his daughter, and then he's because he can't seem to find the name. He goes to where he lives, to where Cassie lives.
No. He finds his own name. Yeah. On the.
Oh, that's right. He does.
Yeah.
And this was also teased earlier, where when they were like when the Avengers were like going through like how many people have like passed away and from the snap and stuff, you can see Scott Lang's picture show up for like a split second.
Yeah, because he was just unaccounted for.
Yeah, because he was busy being in the quantum
quote
realm.
Vanished. Yeah.
Because he was busy being in the quantum realm, and so he sees his own name, and then just like cuts to him going to Cassie's house, trying to find
Yeah.
Cassie. He bangs on the door because
Like he's in frantic panic. He rings the doorbell, bangs on the door, rings the doorbell,
and then you see a silhouette of a person. And at first, I thought it was his ex-wife.
Right?
I thought it was his ex-wife at
Same.
first. And then I remembered like, oh shoot, this is a 5-year gap. And then you see like it's Cassie.
Honestly,
It's
was
Cassie.
that even 5 years ago?
I don't think so.
How old is Cassie now? That looks about 18, and she was
Don't
about.
look too much into
and she
it.
was about 8.
It's an Avengers plot hole. Don't look too much into it.
Okay.
It's another Marvel plot hole. Don't worry about it
Yeah,
too
exactly.
much. Don't think about it too much. We'll get
She's
into
just
that
tall
later.
for her age.
Okay.
Right.
Don't think about this movie too much.
Exactly.
Just don't think about it. Everything will be fine.
Everything will be fine.
Okay.
But yeah, no, that's when we see Cassie and Scott, and even though there's barely any dialogue in their first interaction,
Oh yeah, still a powerful scene.
yeah, you can feel all the emotions that they're going through of like relief, and yet they're still terrified.
Yes, you can feel the emotions come off the screen
Yeah,
and
it's
just hug you like a tight blanket.
Yeah.
The emotions kind of just like
Make
rub
you
your
feel that
face.
comfort.
It's a showing that emotion doesn't have to be presented through dialogue.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yes. All right. So what happens after the Scott and Cassie reunion?
After Scott and Cassie, I believe, isn't that when
It cuts to Natasha
Making a
sitting-
sandwich.
making a sandwich, talking to the
Like a real
Oh, that's right.
woman
This is when we get the
Oh,
rocket
right,
line.
right.
This is when we get it. Sorry, my mind's just so frazzled because this movie has a lot to unpack.
yeah.
Oh
Exactly.
yeah, so much.
It's
So
3
much.
hours worth.
3 hours.
And
It doesn't even feel like
It
3
really
hours.
doesn't. It
doesn't.
feels like a normal 2.5 hour film.
Yeah.
It feels like literally it feels like an hour and a half, 2 hours until the end of the film when you get up and you're like, oh my booty.
Yeah, like you're like in your seat, like trying to like make sure you're comfortable like 5 times throughout the film.
Yeah, the pacing of this movie was absolutely brilliant.
It really
did
was.
not feel like a Return of the King at all. Because Return of the King is the same length as this movie, but Return of the King felt like it went on forever and ever.
And yet this
ever.
film's pacing, it knows when to go, when to take things slow. It knows when to speed things up. It's just
It knows when to fucking end,
Yeah.
unlike Return of the King.
it's a greatly it's
Have
edited
y'all
together
never like read the
perfectly.
books or something?
It's
Oh, that's
edited
more than
together
3 hours, my dude.
perfectly. But this is when we get the when Natasha's making her sandwich, and
Like
we
a
get
real
the,
one.
we get like her with the different people showing up in holograms, like of like
Are
what's
we gonna
going
let that
on,
pass?
what's the situation,
Are we gonna let that
what did
slide?
he say?
What happened?
He said like every woman should.
Oh my god!
What the fuck, Alec?
Are we gonna let that? Are we
You
gonna-
bad.
You sick son of a bitch!
You are such a fucking asshole, Alec.
Oh my god.
Alec, get the fuck out.
Get the fuck out. Walk home. Oh my
Walk
god.
home, you sick son of a bitch!
We get this little scene between we got
Rhodey
Everybody.
and Natasha have a great interaction between this because Rhodey's in Mexico and he's saying like another gang has been slain, and Natasha's all like, "Oh, it must be another gang," and Rhodey's all like, "No, you know who it is. It's him." And they keep it so like, and when he says it's him, even though they don't say his name, you know exactly who they're talking about.
It's almost as if he wasn't in Infinity War.
But you know exactly who he's talking about when he says it's him. And then that's when and then Natasha dismisses Rhodey, and then Captain America and Natasha have this great interaction where Captain America, again, being Captain America, is always looking on the bright side of things, and he says that when he was coming across the bridge across the Hudson, he saw a pod of whales because now that there's less people, there's less pollution in the water, so whales are able to come closer into shore.
Yeah, I think it's something they should have maybe elaborated more on.
I think because
think
Thanos
about
is
it.
saying
They're only showing the bad side of the snap.
yeah,
like
because
they should show the positive side.
the entire reason Thanos did the snap was because he was trying to preserve everyone's materials. He was trying to make sure that there would be enough for every race to still thrive for years past what they should be thriving at. And so they only mentioned one good thing that came out of the snap, but I really wish they would have elaborated on that more.
Yeah.
And looked more on
the only reason I can think of they didn't do that is they didn't want audiences to be divided on Thanos is a good guy and Thanos is a bad guy.
with the group that I watched it with last night, because I was sitting on the most inside, so I was only sitting next to one other person who hadn't seen it, and she hadn't seen any of the MCU. She barely saw like any of the MCU films going into this film, but she like knew the characters and stuff, so she knew mostly what was going on. She knew like what happened in Infinity War, and stuff like that. Like she knew what was going on, and even she was just like she just completely hated Thanos in this film. Like Thanos is perfectly well done because he's someone where like once you hear his plan, you like sort of get where he's coming from, but you still are like, I hate this guy. You sort of
get what he's coming from, but you don't actually see what he's
like you still hate all of him, even though he has a good ideology.
Even on the Garden Planet, when he's he's about to get killed and he's like, Nebula says, "My father's not a liar." He's like, "Perhaps I should have gone easier on you." He said, "I use the stones to destroy the stones because I am inevitable." That's what he says. I am inevitable. You could have tried to stop me, but in the end, it would have happened one way or another.
No matter what, it would have the snap would have happened some way or another. Whether it would have been through one solid moment, or if it would have been just a giant mass genocide with an actual like ambush. Something would have happened along those lines to where the half of the universe would be gone.
And especially with Thanos' plan, it's like, yeah, I'm going to kill half of everything so that everything can thrive. And you literally see that. I mean, they couldn't put it in the movie because Animal Planet needs something to go off of. You can just imagine.
But Sue Marvel.
Oh, the Thanos.
Yeah. Here we see the mating call of the wild Thanos on the Garden Planet, just
snapping away.
Just snapping away. But back to where we were in this back where we were in the scene by scene. So Natasha and Cap, they start talking, and then that's when they get an alert from the front cam.
FBI, open up!
So we get an alert from the front cam of Scott Lang saying like, "Hey, what happened?"
Hey, it's me, Ant-Man.
Dude, don't you remember me? We met at the airport in Germany. I turned giant.
Yeah, I like how that when that scene was shown in the trailers, people kept speculating that it was a scene that they had time traveled already, and the footage that they saw of Ant-Man was just like pre-recorded or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's a lot of fan theories behind that, but people just overlooked that it was just a front door camera.
And then that's when
Cap was like, "Is that recording?"
No, is that an old footage? And then Natasha's all like, "No, that's the front gate." So then they realize it's like Scott Lang's alive, and then he comes in. He's still frantic and everything. He starts talking about where he was, how he was in the quantum zone. The quantum realm, and then he's all like, "Is that anyone's sandwich?" And then he starts eating the peanut butter sandwich.
Paul Rudd is still his comedic self.
He starts eating the sandwich, and then he explains that, and then like we can see that he's thinking about something, and so Captain America's like all like, "Okay, like what's going on?" And Natasha's all like, "Man, that must have been a long 5 years," and he's all like, well, "See, that's the thing. It wasn't 5 years. To me, it felt like 5 hours."
Roll credits.
So then that's when we realize that how they're going to use time travel is through manipulating the quantum realm in some way, and that's what that's what Paul Rudd's talking about as Ant-Man. He's all like, "Well, what if we were able to manipulate the quantum realm?" But because they have no scientists at the moment, that's when they're all like, "Who can we talk to about this?" Cut to Iron Man. So then we go back to Tony Stark in his home with his daughter. And we see them drive up to the driveway, and they go to talk to Tony Stark about their plan of being able to reverse the snap. And like immediately Tony Stark's all like, "No, okay, I have a family now. I don't want to go back and lose this.
My life is lit." Okay.
Okay. And then this is actually, and then like honestly, Paul Rudd's trying to explain like how they're gonna use the time travel, like. No interacting with like past selves, stuff like that. We're gonna strictly follow the rules. And then Tony Stark delivers one of the best lines of, Do you did you get all your time travel knowledge from Back to the Future? Because that's horseshit.
And it's just like that scene is very, very powerful with Tony because Ant-Man is like you won't even and immediately Iron Man cuts him off and he's like, yeah, I won't even drop the micro credits. So they're like, all right, bro, whatever. They leave. They get in the car. They drive off to
Professor Hulk.
Professor Hulk.
Professor Hulk. That was like, I know that's something from the comics, but I did not expect that adaptation to happen.
I did not even. Okay, can we just agree that Mark Ruffalo is such a grandpa?
Yeah.
He is such a grandpa. He's all like,
man.
yeah, dab, yeah.
Yeah. It's like,
I love now one of my favorite comedic interactions in this is the kids and Paul Rudd in this scene.
Yeah.
Where, like, he's all like, do you want a picture with me? I'm Ant-Man. You want a picture with me? And the kids are all like, no.
it's
And
like-
and then Hulk is just insisting. He's like, no,
and then he's like, just give him the goddamn phone. Okay?
just take the goddamn phone. He said, Ant-Man is like a joke in this movie. Ant-Man is repeatedly used as a joke.
He
like,
is.
He's like, who's Ant-Man? Nobody knows who Ant-Man is.
But
honestly, yeah.
Eventually,
It's
they
like
are-
in all the other Avengers films, Hulk was kind of used as the joke character because there are so many Hulk jokes in both the first film and Infinity War. But I can see in this scene alone for Endgame that the joke role has gone from Hulk to Ant-Man.
Yeah, and so now, then they get Professor Hulk on board, even though the quantum realm isn't really his field of expertise, but he's willing to try to help be able to reverse the snap. And then this is when I believe this is when they cut back to Tony Stark in his house at nighttime. It's nighttime now, and he's running simulations of the time travel experiment. With the Mobius,
Well, the only reason he'd ever get the motivation to do that is just he looked at a picture of him and Peter Parker.
Yeah, that was his motivation behind all of this. So then, and then he's all like, okay, take a Mobius strip, but inverse it, and then run it. It's okay if it doesn't work. This is our last simulation. And then like he looks, and then he just walks around while the simulation's running, and then he looks back and it says simulation successful, and then he just leans back into his chair and says, shit. And then this is one of my favorite bits because his daughter's on the stairs and is all like, shit. And he's all like, no, your mother coined that word. That's her word.
She's like, well, why are you down here? He's like, I got some important shit going on.
And then they're all like, ice pops. That's where it's at.
Yep.
And then this is when we get the adorableness factor through the roof, where he tucks her in the bed. He's all like, no, your face goes there. Okay, your face goes there.
Your face on the pillow.
Tell me a story. Okay, there was once a little girl, and she went to bed. The end. But then, as she's about to leave, she says, "I love you 3000."
Oh.
And then hearts start to melt at this adorable scene. And then we see him and Pepper Potts interact. And he's all like, not that it's a competition or anything, but she loves me 3000. And Pepper's all like, what do you think I'm at? Oh, you're probably in the low 600 to 900 range.
69.
I made that joke watching it.
And
funny.
And then Iron Man's all like, I figured it out. What? Time travel.
Well, you see,
I would just like to know why he would ever consider doing that, because all he did was just look at him and Peter in the frame, but he already has a life. It's already shown that he has a life that's been established.
Yeah, it's
so like.
I feel like it's just the pure guilt that he was trying to bring.
It would be especially more impactful if we saw Aunt May in this film, because we do see Aunt May eventually in this film at the end,
right?
But it would have been. I feel like that would have been even more impactful if we saw Aunt May still alive after the snap, knowing that Peter Parker has been snapped away, and we see like a mini interaction between Tony Stark and Aunt May, which that could have possibly been a deleted scene, because they did cut a lot from this film.
Maybe. Oh yeah, I wouldn't doubt it.
So
they didn't want to make it into a two-part film.
Yeah, because they cut a lot from this film.
Avengers End, Avengers Game.
There could have been a deleted scene of Aunt May and Tony Stark having an interaction after the snap, where there's no Peter Parker, And so if we could have been able to see that, I feel like that then his motivation would have even
Yeah,
more
because
of a-
honestly,
he
because
would have
what we
had
got,
more motivation.
I felt like that motivation was just, lack of a better phrase, forced.
Yeah.
And you especially see the kind of person Tony Stark was and still is when he's like distracted looking at that little the little simulation, and Pepper's like, yeah, I've been reading this book on fertilizer. He's like, yeah, how's fertilizer going? She's like, it's going good. I solved it, by the way.
Yeah.
Like, just cuts her off completely.
So, and she's all like,
yeah,
can we be on the same? Just to be sure, we're talking about the same thing here. Time travel.
How's
Time travel.
How's that fertilization going? Shit.
And then after that scene, we cut back to Professor Hulk and the rest of them, and they're trying to figure out time travel.
With Ant-Man becoming a little kid.
With Ant-Man as the test subject.
Yeah.
He becomes like a tween. He grows back to being old. He comes back as a baby, and then he comes back as his normal age, and he's all like, "Someone peed in my soup." I don't know if it was old baby me,
Or Mimi.
No, it could have just been Mimi. But we had that little funny scene, and then that's when Captain America hears Iron Man driving up into their driveway at their Avengers base, and then I love how Tony Stark drives past him and then backs up to meet with him.
Just gotta flex.
Yeah, just gotta flex on them haters. And then he's all like, he became a baby, didn't he? Yep. Like, he knew exactly what happened. And then he's all like, well, maybe instead of sending Ling through time, you send time through Ling. Which I thought was actually a really great analogy. Can you
explain that analogy a bit more?
Basically, like, to see how time travel can actually work in two different ways. How either you can move through time, or time can move through you. And so I just love, and not necessarily an analogy. I think analogy was the wrong word I was trying to go for, but it's just a really cool dynamic to see how time travel, how they actually talk about both versions of time travel, of you being able to go through, or time going through you, and then you like aging or de-aging at random moments. But then this is when we get another great interaction between Tony Stark and Steve Rogers, of Tony Stark giving him back his shield, because we saw at after their fight in Civil War, Tony Stark, kind of in like a babyish way, like a childish way, is all like, that shield doesn't belong to you, it belongs to my father. So Iron Man, like Captain America, leaves it. But now we see that he's giving it back to him. And I love the reason, like, Tony Stark, still being his way, doesn't want to admit that he's doing this out of, like, his own, like, he's all like, I forgive you, or something like that. He's just all like, I need to get this out of the garage, otherwise Morgan's gonna use it to go sledding. Like, he's still in this quippy way, with his one-liners. But then this is when Iron Man's finally on board with the whole time traveling thing. Mm-hmm. And he like basically is able to make and then during this time we finally cut to a great action scene where we get to see Ronin. We finally get to see Ronin in Japan.
Finally get to see action in this movie.
Yeah, this is when we finally get to talk about a fight scene. So we see we're in Tokyo. We're in Tokyo, and there's this gang of guys, and they're all like being killed off and stuff like that. And I love how like they're keeping him in the shadows. Yeah, I love that they're just keeping him in the shadows. A ninja. Yeah, and I love how even his suit is kind of samurai-like in this scene. His suit is
still more ninja-like. Samurais have more like,
ninja, but it really armor. Is like that Eastern kind of like look.
The Asian kind of look. Yeah.
And so I love the sword fight between Akihiko and Ronin. I believe that's supposed to be Akihiko.
He knows the damn name. Marvel fans right here.
Thank you.
Give him a round of applause, everyone.
Yeah.
Thank you. I'll be here all day.
Name memorizer.
Here till Thursday.
But with Ronin and Akihiko, I love.
I have confusion. Ronin the Accuser wasn't in this movie.
No, Ronin's his name. It's Ronin.
Oh, Hawkeye?
Yeah!
Oh!
His name's Ronin!
I never actually knew that. I always refer to him as Hawkeye.
Yeah, well,
Because
it's still pretty much the same character, but
it's still the same character. What is the Ronin thing?
Ronin is basically it's an alternate form of it's still Hawkeye. It's still Clint Barton. It's just an alternate version of him where instead of being like the shield agent that he was, Ronin basically was an alter ego that he created when he went rogue. And in this film, the reason why he went rogue was because of the loss of his family.
Yeah.
It was because of the loss of his family that he went rogue, and so that's when we see him just
massacring all the Tokyo gangs. I feel like it's still kind of dumb because the one line that he says, like, Thanos killed my family, but you're still here.
Yeah, no, but I do like how he phrases it though, where he's all like, "They got Thanos, you get me."
I guess, but like, can you see where he's coming from? That it's not fair that the Snap got his family. Just innocent people.
His motivation is that the Snap took away all these innocent people, and yet you gangs still survive.
Yeah, the bad people are still alive.
Yeah, that's why he's massacring all these gangs, which I love that motivation actually behind it.
Oh, really?
I do like the motivation behind it.
I honestly
just find it odd.
I never thought of it that way. I never thought that like all these innocent people, they got Thanos, and yet you're still here. The bad, the evil, the corruption, you're still hurting people. Well, half the people have been wiped out.
Right.
You don't need to kill people anymore because half the people are gone. There's so much here for you. So why are you still doing this?
Yeah.
And I honestly like that motivation as well.
Mm-hmm.
Still no reason to like equip a sword though.
Yeah.
he just did that because
Tokyo.
Tokyo ninjas.
But then like Natasha's all like, "Hey, join us," and he's all like, "Okay, fine, I'll come." So then he comes in. Oh, and then we get tacos. The tacos.
Honestly, that scene has more impact than like I think. Like, picture it. It's just Ant-Man at the Avengers base eating tacos, and then like the Quinjet blows all the taco fillings away, and then War Machine comes down and says like, "What's up, regular size man?"
And then he drops the taco.
and then Hulk gives Ant-Man another order of tacos.
He gives him 2 tacos.
That is so comic book like. It's like, think of it like one of the Marvel's Saturday morning cartoons. Like seeing all the superheroes just walk about and live a life all in one setting. It's very comic book like. I love it. All right, Colin, your turn.
you especially see that Ant-Man bullying scene where just like Nebula lands and she's like, "Rhodey, there's an idiot in the landing zone."
Yeah. She's conveying it to the rest of the team. She's conveying it to the rest of the team. That's who she's conveying it to. We're like, "There's an idiot in the landing zone. Be careful." Something like that. But no, now they're finally all together. They've decided, like, they've figured out that they need to use pin particles because they're going into the quantum realm. They need to be able to shrink.
Blah blah. Science.
Science.
Blah blah blah. Science. Bigger.
Blah blah blah. Science. Bigger. And bigger is better.
Because we get the bigger portal into the quantum realm.
So then after all this time, we cut from Bruce Banner and this van to this giant thing with a bunch of like spheres or like discs on sticks, and it's
really weird.
It's very random.
Discs on
I like how again I really like the interaction between Scott and Hulk when Hulk's trying to put the pin particles in, and he's all like, "Look, we only have enough pin particles for one round trip each with 2 test runs." And then
whoopsie.
Yeah, and then he puts it in instead of Hulk. He puts it in, and then he like shrinks and comes back, and he's all like, "Okay, 1 test run."
I'm not ready for this. No.
So then they decide to use Clint, and then we get a really I really do like this scene with Clint Barton.
Yeah.
Where he goes back in time, and he goes back to his farm, and he comes back and what?
Okay, wait.
Alec has a question, everybody. Hold on.
I thought his name was Ronan.
Yes, Alec, do you have a question for
Bruh.
His name is Hawkeye.
Ronan and Hawkeye are all the same person.
His name is Barton. His name is that one Marvel superhero who's never getting his own movie.
Yeah.
Okay, but why does he have like three different names?
Because Clint Barton's his real name. Hawkeye is his alias when he was with S.H.I.E.L.D., and then Ronan's his alias after he went rogue.
Okay. Why doesn't he just keep his name?
Can we just call him Hawkeye for the sake of
Okay, we'll call him
podcast?
Hawkeye. Sorry. Okay, to sum it down, Hawkeye. I'll try to remember that.
For those dumb idiots that don't get it, cough, Alec, cough.
But yes, so Hawkeye comes back to his farm. He comes into the shed, and he's like he's a little disorientated, but he as soon as it happens, he knows where he is, and so then he walks out of the shed, and then he hears his kids. First of all, he sees a baseball glove.
Yeah.
That one of his sons is using in the beginning of the movie. And then he goes near his house, and then he hears his kids, especially specifically his daughter. So then he tries to call back for her, and then he immediately gets pulled back. He gets pulled back, which I don't know why they pulled him back. Probably because
I honestly don't understand the whole purpose of this scene in the first place.
Yeah, it is weirdly placed. Well, not weirdly placed. It's just a weird scene overall.
I feel like the reason they had that like that is because, okay, logically speaking, yeah, I know logic in a Marvel movie. What? Exactly. But logically speaking, Clint was like, I'm ready. If I get stuck in the past, it's whatever. So they're like, if he gets stuck in the past, we might as well place him in a pretty good spot where he'd be happy. And so I think that's the reasoning behind why they sent him to that specific location. And also why he was only there for 30 seconds. Because they were like, okay, you're going to be there for 30 seconds, we'll pull you back 10 seconds, it'll be like you never left. Yeah. Supposedly, hopefully.
And then that's when they have their big suit up moment, and they're all like, well, actually, no. Wait a minute. There's one important scene we forgot.
What?
There's one important scene we forgot where Rocket and Hulk go to a really great harbor called New Asgard.
Oh, yeah.
I can't believe we forgot this.
Yeah.
How did we forget this?
It's before we go back and do our time heist, there's one more character we need to talk about.
We need to introduce the last but not least at all.
The Big Lebowski.
The Big Lebowski. John Goodman.
Yeah, well, that's just like your opinion, man.
We go to Hulk and Rocket go to a place called New Asgard, which is basically it's like a harbor.
It's a harbor. Well, yeah, where the last of the Asgardian refugees are living.
And then that's when we get to see Valkyrie again,
which didn't get snapped.
Yep. And then I love this how they're building up to Thor's reveal after the snap, after this really depressive time where she's all like, he only comes down once a month to get supplies, and then it pans over to beer canisters, beer kegs, they're all empty. So then they go up to his place, which is at the top of the refugee
highest
camp.
ground.
They go up, and then Rocket and Hulk enter. They enter the house. And Rocket's all like, "Oh my God, something died in here," and so they go in, and then that's when we get it. We get to see the main man himself, Thick Boy.
Yeah,
the Big Lebowski.
The Big Lebowski. We get to see Thor,
but after a midlife crisis.
Yes, he has a full-on beard belly. He has a beer belly. He has a beard.
He has boobs.
He has boobs. He got moves for days.
He got the thickest boobs ever.
He's just in there playing Fortnite.
Yeah.
He's playing Fortnite.
The Rock Boys playing Fortnite. All the 5-year-olds in the theater.
but I do like how Gorg's all like nude killer 69
new Master 69. New Master 69.
Listen to me. If you need to log off this game immediately, or I will fly over there and I will rip your arms off and shove them up your butt. Yes, go cry to your father.
Oh, fuck you, faggot.
The fuck you say to me, you little shit? How are you not in fucking school? You kiss your mother with that mouth? It's called you kiss your mother with that fucking mouth? Huh?
Oh my God, why are you so great?
Because the fucking youth of society. You shut up when I'm talking to you! You shut your mouth!
Yesterday, before seeing the movie, I was on Instagram and I seen like a meme that it was like two different like gods that Thor faced, and like he was smiling and it was easy, and then it showed just Noob Master, and Thor was like really pissed off, and I didn't get it until the movie.
So anyway, we also forgot their whole like briefing.
Right.
There is a briefing scene where they're trying to like find out where all the stones are. And so that's when they determined that 3 stones were in New York at the same time,
which is actually crazy.
Yeah, which was time, mind, and space.
All in the same time.
All at the same time, 2012. All in New York. There's the Reality Stone, which is on Asgard.
2013.
And Natalie Portman. There's the Soul Stone, which is on Vormir. There's the Power Stone, which is on Morag, and that's 2014. That's all 6 of the stones. And so they determined that they need to split up into 3 teams. And
Team New York, Team Asgard, and Team
Morag / Vormir.
Yeah.
So Team New York is Iron Man, Captain America,
Hulk and Ant-Man.
Team Soulstone is Natasha and
Hawkeye.
Team Morag is Nebula and Rhodey.
Yep.
And Team
Thor and Rocket.
Thor and Rocket
for the one on
Asgard.
Asgard.
And I love how like they try to get Thor to give a briefing on the Reality Stone. And like it pans over to him, and he's like not even moving. And
okay, the Reality Stone was inside this beautiful chick that I used to date. We're not dating anymore.
I love how emotional Thor is.
Yeah.
I think Thor is a greatly written character in both Infinity War and Endgame.
Mm-hmm. But I love how like it pans over to him. He's not moving. They're all like, "Is he sleeping? I think he's dead." And then he's all like, "Well, you see, the Reality Stone. It's not really a stone. It's more of like this
angry liquid,
angry goo."
Yeah.
That inserted itself into my ex-flame, and we have to get it out of her. It's basically like their explanation. So that's really all the briefing we really get on any of the stones.
Honestly.
And then that's when they suit up and they go back in time.
Yep. Is it time for the time heist plot now?
Now it's time for the time heist. So the first group that we see go back in time is the New York group. We see the New York group go to the events of 2012. The Avengers.
Yeah, I think the best part of this film is the fan service it delivers. It can deliver fan service in a better fashion than Infinity War can, because we're going back into the previous MCU films. And we're just reliving those best moments. Like the one in New York. The very first scene that we see is the famous camera pan of the 6 Avengers.
Mm-hmm. Which was an amazing scene back when we first saw it in 2012. I remember being in the as soon as I saw that, nostalgia just hit me. I remember being in the theater. Like we were like it was me and my grandma. We were about 3 rows from the front. And I just remember seeing that pan, and I'm just like,
you should have worn the white pants.
I know.
It was my joke.
I was like 10 when that film came out, and I just remember being just sexual awakenings. Here I come. Anyway,
that's when my love for Black Widow started.
What?
Oh no, dude, it's all about Captain America.
That's what my love for Hulk started.
That's America's ass.
Yes, that is my favorite running joke in this film. America's ass. America's ass. We're like, because we see, because Tony Stark and Ant-Man eventually get up into Stark Tower, where they get up into Stark Tower, and then that's again we see another recreation of a scene in Avengers where they all have Loki pinned.
Yeah.
Where they all have Loki pinned. And then they like are all like, okay, Loki, you're going this way and stuff like that. And then like Captain Rogers walks by, and then Loki transforms into Captain Rogers and says, "We're moving the subject." Da, 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 da. And then Thor's all like, "Just shut up." Okay, and then that's why he had the thing over his mouth. But then that's when Iron Man delivers this amazing line of, man, Steve, that suit does not do good things for your ass. And then Ant-Man's all like, dude, as far as I'm concerned, that is America's ass. With a salute and everything.
Because Ant-Man is still Team Captain America.
Yes, he is. And so as far as I'm concerned, that's America's ass.
Yeah.
So here's my question. Should we explain the time heist completely in the plots? Where like we completely explain Avengers and we completely explain everything, or should we go do it like the movie where we cut back and forth?
Let's, for the simplicity of it, let's go from Avengers to the next.
Okay, so complete.
Yes.
Okay, so we're doing a synopsis of the entire MCU right now.
Fuck.
Exactly. So anyway,
let's just give a brief explanation of why certain scenes.
Yeah, I feel like Avengers and Dark World should go first because the ones after that have more plot significance to the movie.
Yeah, and also they're like they're a little easier to explain because they only focus on like one stone each, while the New York plot has 3 stones, has half the stones in it. So anyway, then this is when they get the space and mind. They find the space and mind. Hulk also was sent out to find the time stone.
The time stone.
Where we get to see Sorcerer Supreme again.
Yeah, which was honestly a surprise. I was not expecting her to be in this film.
I wasn't either, but it was nice to see her again. I love how she was able to like separate Bruce Banner from the Hulk.
Mm-hmm. Honestly, I think the interaction between what was her name again? Shit.
Sorcerer Supreme.
Sorcerer Supreme and Hulk. I think that's one of the greatest character interactions.
Oh, it really is, because they both are thoughtful people. They are both people that use their brains to explain everything.
Oh yeah, and trying to compete with someone as intelligent as Sorcerer Supreme has one of the most difficult tasks of doing.
But anyway, so the Space Stone is so let's
cover the Time Stone first.
Time, yes, okay. So anyways, so Hulk and Sorcerer Supreme, they're talking, and Hulk, Bruce Banner is basically trying to like convince Sorcerer Supreme to hand over the stone, and like he doesn't want to take it like forcefully, but he will if he has to. But then that's when Sorcerer Supreme again like splits them into 2 again. Which I like that. I kind of like how that was a recreation from Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
Of when Doctor Strange first encountered it, how Bruce Banner has that really shocked look on his face.
Yeah.
But then him and Sorcerer Supreme start talking about how they need to be able to, she needs to hand over the Time Stone. And then this is when we get a really good explanation of the time of how time works in the MCU.
In the works of, because like every other film that presents time travel is fucking stupid.
Time travel is bullshit. Why time travel? That's almost never a good plot device, because if it's done incorrectly, which is very easy to do, shit like this can happen.
But I love how this film works on Back to the Future logic.
Because like they try to establish the rules of time itself in this own movie so they can essentially break boundaries.
So they explain the times this way. The Infinity Stones are what control it, and then if you take one out, that creates an alternate reality. Well, then Bruce is all like, but what if we put it back right when it was taken? Then it would be as if it never left.
Time travel is still confusing.
It really is.
Yeah,
any film that has time travel is just
this film is still a victim to that.
Yeah,
and the one thing I don't really get about this scene in particular is when Bruce Hulk gets up there and he's like, "I'm looking for Stephen Strange." She's like, "You're about 5 years too early."
4 years too early.
Which leads you to question: can the Sorcerer Supreme see into the future? And if so, can she see the one?
Well, I think she can only. Well, she can probably. Well, let's see her. So, she has the Time Stone in her control. So she would probably be able to see when Doctor Strange could become a wizard. So I think that kind of checks out of how because she again has the time, so she's able to see when Stephen Strange will become a wizard and like will have his accident, will find them and stuff like that. But again, I don't see how why can't she just see past her own death? Like, because we saw that Stephen Strange was able to see past his fading away, to see like when what version do they win, and one in a 1400 like a 14 million chance.
14,302,000. No, I don't know.
406.
I don't remember.
Yeah, it's 14,406. I just remember the number.
How many did you see? 14,605,000.
And so I think she would be able to do that. But then like Hulk's Bruce Banner's all like, well, look here, okay, Stephen Strange gave up the Time Stone to Thanos willingly. And so then she's all like,
what?
This
is outrageous.
Yeah, but
this is unfair.
He's supposed to be the best of us, okay? Why would he do that? And he's all like, well, I don't know. Maybe he had to. And then she's all like, I feel you're correct. So then she gives it up.
Yeah, and it was better for Hulk to explain that instead of Iron Man, because Iron Man was there when Strange gave away the Time Stone. Mm-hmm. So that means Iron Man would have an answer for that question, whereas Hulk did not have an answer for that question.
And so they get the Time Stone. Onto the Mind Stone. I'm going to go onto the Mind Stone. The Mind Stone.
Yeah.
As we know, at this point in time, it's in the Scepter. It's in Loki's Scepter. And this is also when we get to see how the Scepter originally fell into Hydra's hands, because it was S.H.I.E.L.D. agents that got the Scepter.
What are these agents? Hydra agents. Well, we didn't know that then.
What? They look like bad guys.
So back to the America's ass scene. The agents are like, I'll take that, and Natasha's like, here, you take it. Fuck.
We don't want it anymore.
We
Take
don't want that junk. So they're in the elevator. Cap's like, oh, I'm gonna lead point on search and rescue or whatever. And then he walks into the elevator and he's like, they're like.
When I saw this, I thought we were gonna have a recreation of the beginning of Winter Soldier.
Oh my god!
I thought that's what they were going for. We're like, it was gonna be a recreation of Winter Soldier's beginning of the elevator fight.
The elevator fight. Yeah.
But then I was like thinking about like, well, this is a really crowded elevator at the moment, so I don't really know how they could choreograph a fight scene like that. And then he's all like, Hail Hydra.
I mean, it did happen in Winter Soldier, the fight.
It did. But then Captain Rogers leans over and he's like, "Hail Hydra."
That was amazing. An amazing scene.
So
he's like,
okay.
I got it. He takes the scepter. And he's like, "Hail Hydra."
Yeah, and then this is what we get. Captain America versus Captain America, and again, fan service where he's all like, "I can do this all day." Yeah, I know.
That was funny too.
Like you could really see Steve being an old man because he's from the 1940s. So when he first gets on the ice, he's an old man, right? Because he's from the 1940s. But now you see him being actually old man.
That makes sense.
So then they start fighting out. The reason why they're fighting is because Loki.
Loki can change into anyone.
Yeah.
So that's how that.
Yeah. So then he thinks it's Loki and stuff like that. They start fighting it out. The scepter falls into the floor, and it like comes out of its case. Then they start fighting. They slowly fall down to the floor, to the ground level in Stark Tower. And then 2012 Captain America is starting to choke out present day Captain America.
Yeah.
And then present Captain America is all like, Bucky's still alive. And then he's like, wait, what?
What?
And then he grabs the scepter, makes him fall, and then uses the Mind Stone to make him fall asleep. Then he falls flat. And then Steve, the present day Steve, gets up and he's all like, that is America's ass.
Yeah.
And so now he has the Mind Stone. Now the Space Stone, the Tesseract. This is when things get a little confusing.
Yeah.
Because so they had it in the briefcase, and Thor and everybody's like they're like escorting it out.
Yeah.
So Ant-Man goes into the arc reactor, which again delivers a really great line of "I'm going inside you now." Okay.
No homo.
Exactly. Then they make Tony go into slight cardiac arrest.
Cardiac erect.
Yes. Yeah. Anyway, so then they make him have cardiac arrest. And then Ant-Man kicks the Tesseract over to Iron Man. Tony picks it up. And then Hulk busts out the stairs doors.
Oh yeah, because Hulk
he didn't fit on the elevator.
Yeah, because earlier Hulk hates stairs.
Exactly. So then he walks down the stairs. He's really mad. So then he he like forcefully opens up the door and it sends Tony flying. He drops the briefcase.
Drops
and
the Tesseract.
The Tesseract
It lands right at Loki's feet.
Conveniently, and then he teleports to a spin-off series. Anyways, so then, thank you.
He'll be here till Thursday.
Exactly.
Honestly, is the reason why that scene is to set up Loki's spin-off series?
I believe so.
Seriously?
I think I don't. Know
I really don't want that to be the case.
But then
case.
yeah, he.
But
So then they use the Space Stone. So now they're all like, okay, how can we go back? How can we get the Tesseract, and still have enough pin particles? And then they're all like, well, what if there's a time where they're in the same spot, right? Okay. So then they go to 1970.
Plot convenience.
Right?
Plot convenience.
Plot convenience. So then they go to 1970. This is when we get our Stan Lee cameo of a hippie.
Idiots for a second.
We get Stan Lee's hippie cameo.
Our final
okay.
Stan Lee cameo.
It's not his best.
No.
The cameo.
Age of Ultron's still the best
The
one.
cameos, okay. What? Which one?
Age of Ultron.
I gotta have some of that. No. See, this was aged for 1,000 years. The barrels built from the wreck of Grunhill's fleet is not meant for mortal men.
Neither was Omaha Beach, Blondie. Stop trying to scare us. Come on.
All right.
Excelsior.
Here's what I would have done if I was the one making this film. Because it's Stan Lee's send-off, because time travel's involved, I would have been like, hey, because time travel's involved, what if we somehow got to see past cameos come back?
Oh, missed opportunity.
Because
right
the fan service would have been right there, and they went back in time to different films that had, and again, every MCU film has a Stan Lee cameo.
Yeah.
So what if they went back and got to see a different perspective of a Stan Lee cameo, or got to see a Stan Lee cameo but in different spots? Because the Stan Lee cameo in Avengers was during the Battle of New York, so we could have seen him before he was on the news. Yeah. Because you know how he was on the news near the end of Avengers, where he was saying superheroes in New York. Are you sure? We could have seen that, but from a different point of view, or before the interview could have happened.
Yeah.
And so the fan service would have been right there.
Still a missed opportunity.
It really is.
Now that you pointed out.
But instead we just get hippie Stan Lee.
And it happens so quick. You can miss it.
It's a blink and you'll miss it moment.
Yeah, it happens in a snap.
Hey. But Steve and Tony go back to 1970. That way they can get pin particles and the Tesseract because they're at the same spot.
That's plot convenience.
Plot convenience.
I feel like the plot convenience is one of the main drivers of this.
But then, but it does give us a really nice interaction between Tony and his father.
To quote CinemaSins, plot convenience is convenient.
Yes. But this scene does give us a really good interaction between Tony and his father.
Missed opportunity though. I didn't like that. As Iron Man said that my name is also Howard, but it's no, just call yourself by your real name. It's if they could have delivered that Tony. Tony. Tony is my name, and therefore when Howard Stark goes on his recollection, who is that man? I think I'll name my kid Tony. Yeah. You know what I'm getting
or
at?
Something like that. Which I do see what you're saying, and I do think that could have been that also is a missed opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know exactly where Howard Stark came up with Tony's name, like the actual I suppose comic book
because
way.
we saw we saw that his he was talking about how his wife wants, if it's a boy, Almanzo. Yeah, no. So basically, through plot convenience, they get the stone. They get the Tesseract.
They're able to
get the Tesseract with pin particles. That way, they have enough to go back to present day. So that basically sums up the Avengers plot line of the time heist.
Yeah.
Now on to
the Dark World.
Of
all the Thor movies,
with Thor and Rocket going to Asgard.
Yeah.
In this, basically, we see Thor and Rocket, and we see, I do like that they let that, even though Thor is in this depressed state, and like he's not like all the way there.
He's
they
still
still
not there.
allow him to go to Asgard.
Well, it's his home.
It really it
so
is.
there'd be
So
no
it
other
does-
place
it does
for
make
him
sense.
to be.
Yeah,
but still, it happened to be on the day that his mother dies.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's the day that his mother dies, and like he gets upset. He gets
upset.
He gets
and, like,
upset. He's like, I'm not crying. Okay, I'm crying.
Okay,
and he's like, there's a wine cellar right down here. Let's go. Maybe they have to-go cups.
And then Rocket has to literally slap the sense into him.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, hey, come here.
Yep. But then because Rocket turned around for 3 seconds, Thor is gone because he may be fat, but he fast.
Fat and fast. How can a fat man run so fast?
And then so Rocket's all like, damn it. So then Rocket has to go in, get Natalie Portman's DNA.
That was a fucking ass funny scene though, because all of Natalie Portman's paycheck was to get up from a bed and just walk stage left. But then Rocket comes on with whatever and just sneaks up behind her. It's like, time to insert this in your asshole, sweetie.
It's raping time. Look, I bet you they could put that audio clip in there where he holds the thing, clicks the button, and the little prongs come out, and he's like, "It's raping time."
It's raping time.
And then Thor and his mother have an interaction where his mother's all like, "You're from the future, aren't you?" And he's all like, "No, okay, yeah, I'm from the future."
Do you feel like that little character development of Thor's mom is like the only character development we ever get of her in the MCU?
Yeah, it really is.
Oh my god!
But it's some good character development. What?
Because I barely remember anything from her in the first film or Dark World. All I remember her is that like she gets killed in Dark World.
Yeah.
And like that fight choreography in Dark World has the Thor's mom having the advantage. That should be a lot better. That is not a tragic death.
No, it's not.
Nope.
But so then they're able to get the ether from Natalie Portman.
Reality Stone.
But they're able to get the Reality Stone.
Yes.
So then, should we do Morag or Vormir next? Morag. So we now go to the events of Guardians of the Galaxy 1. Right, and they come.
And another bit of fan service is seeing Star-Lord do his beginning dance.
Yes, but this time it does start out with him with the music overplaying
in the background.
In the background, but then it cuts to Nebula and Rhodey's point of view, where they just hear him singing poorly, listening to music in his headphones, just dancing along.
Honestly, just picture it. That is you whenever you're listening to music. Everyone that's looking at you, they probably like if you've ever gone down a sidewalk and you're doing stuff like this.
It reminds me of that guy who's like listening to music. It's like what I think I sound like.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's like he's singing like the
expectation versus reality.
Yeah, and then like the whole neighborhood thinks it's just another mental kid walking down the street. Okay.
But no. So Nebula and Rhodey are in the events of Guardians of the Galaxy 1, and then this is when we get a really big plot moment of Nebulas coexisting at the same time.
Do you understand how that works, though?
Yes, because of all the mechanical bits, because that's just how Nebula is.
Yeah.
Because of all the mechanical bits, they share the same network in their head. And so because they share the same network, because there's two Nebulas now at the same time at the same point in time, their networks are like crossing each other. And so because of that it's basically like Wi-Fi and Wi-Fi connecting to each other.
It's like Google Drive. It's just like a new user's popped up.
Is this you?
Or like when you
like when you have
it's like when you're sharing a Google Doc.
Or think about it. It's like you have a Google Doc, the same Google Doc opened on your phone and your computer, and you see your name still in the same cursor.
It's stuff. It's something like that. That's
right.
how it works.
I guess that analogy works.
So that's how the nebulas are like working. So now,
coexisting.
So now, past nebula is getting the memories of present nebula, and so like they get to see where how Nebula is at Morag right now with Rhodey, how they're like how they're about to get the Power Stone, and then they even get to see Thanos' death. And Thanos, I love how Thanos isn't even mad that he dies. He's all like, "That's destiny. That's how it's supposed to go."
And that's destiny fulfilled.
I am inevitable.
And I am no.
We'll get to that in a second.
I am Batman.
Where's
Rachel? Darkness, no parents.
Anyway, so then
That's fucking funny.
So Nebula and President Nebula and Rhodey.
President Nebula.
President Nebula and Rhodey, they knock out Star-Lord, who's a complete idiot. They knock out Star-Lord and they use his tools. They get the Power Stone. They give the power. Nebula gives the Power Stone to Rhodey.
They get the Power
Now they
Stone.
have the Power Stone.
All right, now it's time to travel back in time. But
Nebula's starting to fry out.
Yeah, it's like in 3, 2, 1, War Machine goes, but then Nebula is like frying out or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Because she gets baked, but not in the good way.
Yeah, because
collapses to the fucking ground.
Yeah, and so like she's finally captured by 2014 Thanos.
Yep, she's captured and everything.
That's
Nebula's trying to like prove past Nebula is now trying to prove her worth to Thanos. How she's not going to betray him and anything and stuff like that.
Right.
And how they do that is past Nebula takes off a bit of the present day Nebula's head compartment and puts it on past Nebula. Puts it on herself. So now past Nebula looks a bit more like present Nebula.
Yeah.
And so she basically disguises herself and infiltrates the team. That's basically the end of Morag, really. So then past Nebula is going to infiltrate the team.
Especially when Thanos is like, Alexa, search Infinity Stones.
I'm having trouble finding the answer.
So then, Vormir. Vormir is probably these like 2 or 3 scenes that happen on Vormir, because they split it up into 2 scenes in the film. These bits in Vormir are probably some of the best character moments for Black Widow and Hawkeye.
Oh yeah.
Because in the past MCU films, we barely have like any information on this two. We've seen them interact before in a very like kind of
like Budapest, right?
Yeah,
sure.
Kind of like a kind of a thing dynamic going on here, where like they kind of have a thing.
Never really goes anywhere.
Yeah, it doesn't really go anywhere.
And then Joss Whedon decided to have Black Widow fall in love with Hulk.
But in these scenes with Vormir, we see their dynamic. We see their like relationship of 2 spies that tried to kill each other once and then became teammates. We see that come back in these scenes because now they're trying to kill each other again.
No, they're not trying to kill each other.
Well, they're trying to kill themselves. I've never seen.
No, I want to commit suicide. No, I want to commit suicide.
I've never seen 2 people try so hard to commit suicide before. Okay. I've never seen that before.
No, I want to die. Suicide. No, I want to die. No, I want to die.
And then eventually,
honestly, I felt like something bad was gonna happen, and the both of them were gonna die.
Yeah, that's what I was like. I was kind of expecting something like that. I really wanted Clint to die. Not gonna lie. Well, only because it would have fulfilled his arc, kind of. Like it really would have, because he is willing to put down his life for his family to live again.
Yeah.
Well, Natasha. So Red Skull, being the keeper of the Soul Stone. Because of that, he pretty much knows anything about he knows everything about anyone, and so he's able to like say like Natasha's father is like Natasha, son of Ivan,
daughter of Ivan.
Daughter of Ivan.
My God, why can't you get genders correct? There are 64 of them. How could you possibly get them confused?
I don't know.
That's a cue for editing, Ethan, to edit that out.
That's not PC. Anyways,
it's not canon.
Just like the New Testament.
So like they're all like Natasha, daughter of Ivan, and so what? You're freaked out because he knew your father's name? I didn't. Oh, just woo.
Yeah.
Some good shit right there.
But honestly, no matter who would have died, it would have completed their arc no matter what. Because if Hawkeye would have died, then it would have completed his arc because he's just one to lay down his life for his family to live again or to have a good life. He would be willing to like sacrifice himself for the good of his family. While Natasha, the only family she has is the Avengers. So if she were to go, the only people that would miss her would be the Avengers, and even then, they would be able to avenge her death.
Yep.
And so no matter what, it's able to complete both their arcs, no matter who would have died. And so then they get the Soul Stone, and that's when everyone comes back to the present.
Yep. Well, except present day Nebula, but
yeah. We'll get to that in a little bit. So then they get the stones and everything. They don't suspect a thing about Nebula.
yeah, Iron Man creates a right-handed Infinity Gauntlet.
Yep. So then they're trying to decide like who's gonna take it, who's gonna like snap their fingers, and Thor's all like, "I'll do it. I'll do it." And they're all like, "No,
You're not in shape, Tubby.
Tubby.
Nobody calls me Tubby!
You're not in shape, and we don't trust your mind at the moment."
So you know what's running through my veins? And then freaking
Brody's all like cheese whiz.
That's like another fucking best line. Okay, so one thing I want to point out that I just remembered, in the scene where they're like, bro, when are the Infinity Stones even where? Like what? So Ant-Man, Thor's like, fuck. Hulk is like, yo, all y'all in this room know where the Infinity Stones are. At one point in time, you dealt with one. Ant-Man's like, I have it. I swear to God, at that point, Hulk was like, shut the fuck up, Ant-Boy.
But it makes sense for Hulk to do the snap because because at the beginning of the film when Thanos destroyed the Infinity Stones, his face
not just his face though, like his
entire arm and his left side, was completely charred because the Infinity Stones because of the radiation. Yeah.
And so that's when like Hulk's all like, now look, I may not be like the strongest, but a majority of the radiation coming off these stones is gamma, and so I should be able to absorb most of it.
Who else here in this room is gamma?
Exactly.
So
then he puts on the glove.
Shut the fuck up, Ant-Boy.
Shut the fuck up, Ant-Boy.
He puts on the glove. He puts on the glove and he snaps it. And as he snaps it to bring everyone back, that's when past Nebula in present day uses the quantum realm time machine thing to bring Thanos' entire ship.
His entire legion.
His entire legion.
We literally see a little mini Thanos ship pop out and then bigger and bigger. And at this point, Thanos' ship is like 1/100th of its size as it crashes through the roof and leaves a huge hole. And then all of a sudden, we don't see it, but it crashes through the roof. And it's not even that, honestly, at this point, it's not even that big. It makes a pretty big sized hole in the roof, don't get me wrong, but it doesn't make that big of a hole, if you know what I'm saying. Mm-hmm. Like, for a spaceship, anyway.
Yeah.
Especially a warship of that caliber.
Still, I felt like I still felt like somebody died in that scene just right then and there.
Yeah, but then so Thanos' ship comes back, and then they're all and so then Ant-Man's all like, oh, "We did it, guys!" Because like sun's shining.
He looks. The sun's shining. The birds are tweeting. I think we did it, guys. Shut the fuck up, Ant-Boy.
no, Thanos. You just hear one of the missiles going, "Shut the fuck up!
Shut the fuck up, Ant-Boy."
And then we get a recreation of Iron Man 3 when his mansion gets blown up, and now except now it's the Avengers base, and instead of it being the Mandarin, it's Thanos' ship.
And I love how we get to see, like, literally just the like I was saying earlier, the small hole in the roof that's, like, not really the size of his ship. We see this absolutely gigantic ship where literally it's so big, half of it is shrouded in clouds.
Yeah.
It's that big. to the point where it goes from clear to cloudy before the end of his ship.
So then it's like boom, 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 boom. The entire Avengers place is like blown up. It's now a crater in the ground, and everyone lives because
plot convenience. But nobody fucking dies in that.
Captain America's head was literally on a rock. Okay.
Yeah, he was taking.
But like, they're still hurt because Hulk still had to keep lift the building up. Off
and he only has the left side of his body because the right side used the gauntlet.
Yeah.
We all know left side is weaker than right.
And then that happens. And it's like everyone's alive. They're trying to like keep the Infinity Gauntlet away from Thanos' goons.
Goons, yep.
And then we're about to get to the climax of the film, guys. Okay, if you haven't already, switch into your white pants.
Yeah, switch into your white pants because it's gonna be yellow by the time we're done.
So as Ant-Man gets to the like, look guys, the birds are singing. They might as well just put Act 3, the dickening.
So Hawkeye's keeping it away from like dog things.
Yeah.
He's running, and I just absolutely love the scene where he gets an arrow, he launches it down, and you see this like little light go down the hallway, and then just like a shitload of dogs on the walls, and you're like,
oh shit.
Okay.
I'm gonna go this way.
Put this glove on and the fuck out of here.
But he's running away. The place is you see that the place is flooding. Rocket is covered in rock, so he's not able to move. Rhodey's suit is deactivated, so now he's paralyzed again because in Civil War he got paralyzed, and so that's why he needed to be in the suit at pretty much all times.
So then he's like,
he has robotic legs.
Yeah, and the suit opens up like a canopy would.
Right.
I think.
Yeah. That's what he had to do. Yeah.
Canopy. So then, like everyone, basically, like flooding is happening everywhere. Ant-Man's tiny, and then we see Tony Stark, Captain America, so Iron Man, Captain America, and Thor on like this rock, in the rubble, looking over Thanos and seeing that he's doing absolutely nothing.
He's waiting while 2014 Nebula goes and finds the Infinity Stones.
So then they're trapped down under the rubble. They're like, help, somebody help. Ant-Man's like, I got it, guys, I'm coming. So instead of, like getting to the hole and then jumping down and then shrinking, he shrinks, then runs towards the hole just to make.
No, he was already shrunk.
He shrunk with the explosion.
Right.
To survive,
Yeah, because that was probably like the only way.
Alright guys, I got it.
One thing I don't like about the severity of Marvel plot, like, that's how plot works, according to Marvel. Yeah, plot convenience. When they're about to go back in time and they test it, right? He shrinks down, comes back up, he's like, okay, we only have one pin particle. How is he able to shrink when they went back in time? How?
Logic.
Marvel.
Don't
worry about it.
I was like, didn't Stark grab like more than one pin particle vial back in 1970?
Yeah.
Yeah, and this is now 2023. So.
Yep. So then.
So I'd say he has enough to shrink down.
But eventually we do start to get this like 4-way fight scene of Thanos, Iron Man, Captain America, and Thor.
Oh, yeah. God, this is so badass.
And this is where.
And also, okay, so one thing that I accidentally left out is back in Thor: The Dark World, Thor summoned Mjolnir, and now Mjolnir is in present day.
Right. Yeah. That's one thing we did forget about. Yes.
So Mjolnir and Stormbreaker are now in present day. So Thor is dual wielding.
And that's pretty awesome.
Mm-hmm. Wait, question: If he stole Mjolnir from his past self. That'd create like an alternate time thing. So,
yes,
so would they have to go back?
When they go back in time, that's why. So when they go back in time, they do take Mjolnir back.
Oh, they do. Okay,
yeah.
Okay, I didn't realize that.
But anyways, so Thor's dual wielding. Captain America has his shield, and Iron Man is suited up. And it's about to be a 3v1 handicap battle.
Yeah, and this is where Thanos also reveals his new motive, because now that he's seen that his work of destroying 50% of the population just left the other 50% still
miserable.
They're ungrateful. So you know what? I will destroy 100% of the world and recreate a new one.
Yes, and
So
start
then
from scratch.
we just get this epic fight scene of like constant barrages of different amazingly cool attacks. Like Iron Man gets this like cool suit thing where his suit kind of like he's like
Yeah, no,
"All right,
it
Thor,
opens
hit
up
me."
to like basically like being like a conductor almost.
Yeah.
Of Thor's lightning. So Thor summons lightning. He sends it into the back of Iron Man's suit, and then Iron Man just gets super powered up and then sends an entire blast towards Thanos.
We get this really cool like blade spinning thing with Thanos where he just deflects the beam. Bullshit, but he deflects the beam.
Darth Maul.
Yeah, he's able to deflect the entire beam. It's a really well choreographed fight scene with all of them using their combined abilities.
Yeah.
But then Thanos pretty much like knocks out Iron Man. He then knocks out Thor.
Well, he
knocks out Captain America, and then he's about to
kill Thor, like in the style like Thor was going to kill Thanos in Infinity War.
Yeah,
we see Mjolnir fly and pretty much hit Thanos, and then we see it go, stop, pull back, and
Captain America
right into the head of Captain America. And at that point, I was like, "Damn it!
Oh,
There's
yeah.
the white pants."
Exactly.
Our audience clapped for that.
Oh yeah.
Oh, definitely. They leave a pause in there for the audience to clap. Okay.
We see Captain America with the shield and hammer, and we're like,
So I saw this movie twice. I saw it once when it opened on the 26th, and then I saw it recently last night. The first time I saw this, with the group that I was with, they were friends from a D&D campaign that I did, and so when I saw Captain America summon Mjolnir with his shield, I'm all like, he multi-classed, guys. Wow, he multi-classed. He reached level 5.
So then after that, we get to see this freaking amazing barrage of freaking. He throws his shield, hits the shield with the hammer. The shield bounces back. He hits Thanos, charges the lightning blast, hits him with it, and then he reaches up and the lightning blast comes down on Thanos. We see this epic beatdown, but then, just like the fucking Titan he is, Thor goes in for an attack, and Thanos, being like the Titan, the slayer of many worlds,
Titan.
grabs Thor, punches him, or not Thor, fucking Captain America, punches him, gets the upper hand on him, and picks up his sword, starts beating the shit out of him with the sword, like over and over. We see this like furious rage of straight up the exact same attack, but there's nothing Captain America can really do. He's on the ground holding his shield.
I felt like he was going to die right then and
Yeah,
there.
no, and especially with the shield breaking.
We literally see half the shield break over the course of like 10 hits that Thanos does over and over. The same exact
That
move.
just shows the strength that Thanos has because he's able to break vibranium. With repeated hits.
And then it was shortly after this, correct, that everyone came?
White.
I'm funny.
So,
but no.
I mean,
we
if
see
they wore
Captain
white
America
pants,
get
then
up.
you couldn't see it.
Like, because we literally see the beam come down and Thanos' whole army come in.
Oh, yeah.
This situation is looking absolutely hopeless. We have half of the heroes trapped inside of somewhere of the
in the building.
We have our three biggest heavy hitters working side by side together with their new powers. Even with Captain America's use of Mjolnir, still getting beaten down. Captain, of course, being Cap, gets up, straps his shield on tighter. He gets ready for the next fight, and then we see
a little yellow circle starting to form.
Before that happens, how is Thanos able to teleport his entire army, time travel his entire army?
Because he time traveled his ship.
Huh?
He time traveled the ship.
They were all in the ship.
Oh.
He must have somehow integrated the time travel into the ship, and that somehow plot convenience.
Plot convenience is convenient.
But then why didn't the Avengers do that and just time travel in?
Plot convenience.
Plot convenience.
Ask Marvel. You know what they'll tell you? Shh, I am the plot, bitch.
But yeah,
I am the convenience.
We then see a little yellow circle, and that's
out from it we see Okoye, Black Panther, and Shuri.
But they make a reference to two different like Marvel movies in the past where Doctor Strange is like on your left.
Oh yeah, on your left.
Yeah. So it was like really cool.
Because how that scene began is like Captain America got a thing on his earbud, and it was Falcon saying "on your left," and on your left was a portal with Doctor Strange.
Yeah,
and then that's when everyone from the MCU.
We see literally huge
Howard the
amounts
Duck,
of
guys. Howard the Duck.
Everyone came, including me.
I do like the callback with on your left.
Yeah.
Back to
Winter
Soldier, where Captain America just kept lapping Sam.
Yeah.
Just on your left. And like I love Sam's reaction every time like he got lapped. He's all like,
come on!
Exactly. He's all like, don't you dare say it! Don't you dare say it! Oh, come on! But
we literally just see everyone that got snapped, and one of the most heartwarming scenes ever.
Yeah.
Oh my
Peter
God.
Parker walks through that portal.
No, he doesn't just walk through. He
swings in.
through.
That's when our audience clapped as well.
Yeah. We were just like, let's fucking go!
I brought my white pants for a good reason.
They're yellow.
I see it a little. That might be Scott Lang. Don't worry, guys.
Wait.
Anyways,
I have a question. I don't really get the white pants joke.
it's from
You know what the color of semen is?
you see a whole bunch of portals open, and everybody just comes out of the portals.
It is the absolute. I think it's the absolute best moment in the MCU.
It is,
period.
and then to complete the moment, Captain America at the front of the army is all like, Avengers assemble.
Oh my god!
Yeah, we also right before he says that too, we see that Ant-Man had turned giant, and he has everybody with him, so he's turned giant, and now he's ready to fight.
Oh God!
I'm here.
Use that voice more often. It's a great.
So then Captain America says Avengers assemble, and then it's like the Hobbit, Battle of the Five Armies. They're just like, charge!
Oh my god! It was the best.
Focus in on that scene. You see literally everyone using all their different powers.
You see the front lines with like Thor, Captain America, how they're fighting through, like Thor brings down Stormbreaker, and then I love how Giant Man is in the background and he just punches one of the Chitauri creatures.
I love that.
He just punches it right in the face.
There was also a scene later where Giant Man held one of the Chitauri and just sent it through one of Doctor Strange's portals.
Yep.
I love that.
Another part that I thought was cool was Drax with the on-one thing.
Everyone in my theater laughed at that.
Stabbing the shit out of the freaking.
Because it's Drax. It's
Drax. He's supposed to.
Batista, get it right. Dave Batista.
And what's Mantis supposed to do? Make people sleep?
Yeah, just
and then I also like how Peter Quill he defeats somebody, and then he sees past Gamora. And with present Nebula, past Gamora and present Nebula, and Gamora's all like. And then he's all like, the first time you missed, the second time you got both of them.
Yeah.
And Gamora to present Nebula is all like, that's the guy I end up with? Well, it was either that or a tree. And I'm just like, well, what about Rocket? Okay, raccoons are people too.
Well, wait, what about Drax?
True. No, he's too practical.
Yeah, too practical. He's
too. I already lost my.
Oh yeah, and somewhere along these scenes, this is when Nebula kills 2014 Nebula.
Yep. Present Nebula kills past Nebula.
Yeah, and gives assurance to 2014 Gamora that they will eventually become friends.
Yep.
That
they will become sisters.
Yes, they will become proper sisters.
Yep. Which adds to that more again
emotion.
There's a lot of family in this.
Yeah.
Just like Deadpool.
It was like Infinity War was for Gamora's part of the story, and then
Endgame is a lot of Nebula.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. So we get this giant fight scene.
Oh my god, the fight scene was the best.
And then we see and then it cuts back to Iron Man and Pepper Potts is also in this fight scene too.
Yeah, she's in an iron suit herself.
She has the anniversary armor. It was a gift from Tony Stark for their anniversary.
Yeah.
So they're like so then she joins the battle, and then And then right before anything could get even more dire, Captain Marvel's all like, I'm in this film too, guys! Don't forget about me!
Oh, yeah.
Boom!
We can't
I
forget-
got my Starbucks. Okay.
Yes, so the ship...
I love that voice.
Hold on. Okay.
Thank you. Okay.
Alright.
Oh my gosh, that voice is amazing.
Oh my god, yeah.
So yeah, no.
We
so
should
like,
all talk like this now.
Captain Marvel comes in. She flies right through Thanos' ship, and then she grabs the Infinity Gauntlet from
Peter.
from Peter Parker,
Yeah.
who had it for a little bit to like fly it over because they're trying to get back.
It was like, pass the gauntlet. Pass the gauntlet.
Yeah.
the gauntlet.
So then,
Reminds me of the end of Scooby-Doo 2.
So then, so Captain Marvel's here, and like she grabs the gauntlet, and then Peter's all like, "So you're gonna do this alone?" And then all the women come in, and they're all like, "No, she's not gonna be alone, cause we're here too." And then I'm just like, feminism.
This is why I call her Captain SJW, because if she cut her any shorter, she'd be bald. A, and B, they literally have a feminist part in the movie, just all the females in the movie. I'm like, well, somebody had to have been a serious SJW to put that in there. Listen, we need to have the women's side of the story too. Okay, let's get all the women.
Let's recreate that one scene from Infinity War where it was all the women. Okay, let's go, team.
Yes.
I don't never explored into it in our Captain Marvel podcast, but like we just talked about the film. We didn't get into any of the SJW shit.
No. So anyway, so then what do you want, Alec?
I don't know her name, but one of the female characters with like the red powers.
Yeah. Wanda.
Yeah, Wanda. She's like low key hella powerful because it was her and Thanos one-on-one, and she was actually fucking Thanos up.
It was because the death of Vision brought out her true potential.
Yeah.
Because she has a vendetta against Thanos that he killed Vision.
Yeah.
So she's literally destroying Thanos.
Oh yeah,
We
but
forgot
like
this part of the
Thanos
movie.
has no idea. I have no idea why you hate me.
Yeah,
She's literally
Thanos. It's
ripping Thanos apart. Like, you can literally see his armor coming off, and he's like, fire the guns. So Thanos' giant warship just literally bombards the crap out of the battlefield. And then all of a sudden the cannons change targets, and they're like, they're shooting, like, all the cannons are shooting in one spot. And Friday's like, there's something that just entered the upper atmosphere.
And then it's Captain Marvel.
Exactly. She
Captain
punches through the ship.
SJW.
Literally, the ship is huge. She's just like, yeet, all the way through the ship.
It's a fly ball to outfield.
So we get the feminism scene. I have to call it that. We get the feminism scene. Captain Marvel flies through, gets the Infinity Gauntlet close, and then Thanos takes his sword, throws it at the van, and it basically explodes, sending a huge, like, I don't know, time surge maybe? Like a huge amount of power at Captain Marvel. She gets thrown into some rocks. He picks up the Infinity Gauntlet, and he's literally like that close to snapping. She flies in, stops him, grabs the Infinity Gauntlet, and she, at this point in time, you literally see how strong she is. Because she's like, at first she needs both hands, then she gets to one hand, she's holding the other hand up. Thanos headbutts her, she doesn't even flinch.
No! Like, nothing happens.
Full-on headbutt from Thanos.
Awesome.
She doesn't even move.
Mm-hmm.
You can literally see the black eye that Thanos got from that.
I didn't even see that. Wow.
Yeah, no, his eye does get some
Really?
discoloration.
But yeah, more purple than it already was.
So she's floating. She's got one hand on the gauntlet. Thanos is like, "Oh shit, gotta do something." Grabs the Soul Stone.
No, not the Soul.
the Power Stone.
He grabs the Power Stone.
Grabs the Power Stone. The Soul and Power Stone kind of like when I think Soul, I think purple. But
Oh yeah, I get it. Because comic books.
Yeah.
he grabbed the Power Stone, blasts her with it. With the one Power Stone, I mean, I kind of get it because she was kind of focusing all her energy on that one part.
Yeah.
And then he hits her with that. He's about to snap again, I think.
And then Iron Man comes in and is like, nah. And then like he tries to like fight it out, tries to get the gauntlet off. And then Thanos is all Thanos pushes him away and is all like, "You can't stop this. I am inevitable." Nothing happens.
That's
So we
because
missed
Stark
one of the
took out all the stones from the gauntlet.
We missed the most important scene where Captain Marvel gets blasted away. Thanos puts the stone back. Stark looks over at Strange, and Strange holds up his hands. You gotta remember, his hands are messed up. He doesn't use magic on his hands, so he holds up a finger and he holds up one. Stark's like, "This is the one." Mm-hmm. So he runs up, does that, takes the stones. Freaking Thanos, looking at Nebula's hologram, he repeats what the present day Thanos said. "I am inevitable." He's got the Thanos smile. He snaps.
Nothing.
He turns it all together. What?
Let's say it together.
So then you see it cuts back to Iron Man, and you see the stones come into a figuration onto his hand in the armor, and he says, "And I am Iron Man."
Just completely snaps. You can literally see a giant Chitauri. The thing is literally about to eat. I can't remember who it was, but it was about to eat it, and then it just turns into dust. And you gotta think that whoever that was must have went, and then he just fucking swallowed Chitauri dust.
It was Rocket.
It was Rocket. It was Rocket.
Okay.
Like, you gotta think Rocket was like, and then just, oh, it's so gross. Oh, why? And then
and it just pans, and you see the entire army just start turning to ash.
You literally see what's his face?
Thanos.
Maul just look at Thanos. He's like, "Help, Daddy!"
Squidward.
Yeah, Squidward fade away, and finally Thanos just sits down, takes a good look around, and just. And that is the end.
I was really hoping to say, "I don't feel so good."
But yeah, no, and then so then everyone disappears.
Everyone from 2014 disappears, which also means 2014 Gamora.
Yep.
Actually, I'm not sure.
Enemies. I don't think he was just like. I think he was just saying like all the enemies.
I just saw it was like everyone that came from 2014.
I don't know.
I'm not sure like what happened to Gamora, because later in the movie it shows Peter Quill he's like searching for Gamora, and there's nothing, so I don't know what happened.
Yep. But so then Tony Stark, because of all that power, because again earlier, if you think back to earlier in the film, it almost killed Thanos.
Yeah.
It almost killed Hulk. So it's gonna kill a person. So Iron Man is there, lying down, taking his final breaths, as everyone just as Tony Stark crowds him. Tony Stark's there, Pepper Potts is there, Captain America's there,
Spider-Man.
Didn't I say Spider-Man?
No. You said Tony Stark.
Oh. Oh, well, I meant to say Spider-Man.
Yeah.
So they're all there, and you can just see that Captain America, Captain America's all like, "I forgive you" and everything, and Peter Parker's all like, "My mentor, no."
Mr. Stark, please.
Exactly.
Mr. Stark.
You get that amazing acting from whoever the fuck plays.
Tom Holland.
Yeah, Tom Holland.
Yeah. Oh my god.
You get that amazing, Mr. Stark. Mr. Stark, we did it, Mr. Stark.
Oh.
The guy who spoils everything.
And I feel like this is pretty much where everyone cried.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Pepper Potts is there, she's there, she doesn't want to accept it, but she knows that it's time for him to go.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, you can rest now. I don't want to go. Sheep man.
Yeah, which then cuts to a little projection that he had pre-recorded and showed his daughter. It's like, "I love you 3000." And
no. It was like a montage of stuff while I was listening to Captain. Iron Man.
Yeah, it was like a
Captain
montage.
Man.
It was like a montage of cleanup, and then the "I love you 3000."
Yep.
Yeah.
And this is
still just a very impactful line.
Yeah.
And then we get the funeral where they send another callback to Iron Man 1 with the proof that Tony Stark has a heart.
That one got me right there.
Yeah,
that one got me.
Got you in the heart.
Yeah.
Hey. But yeah, no, that's they're kind of doing a Viking send off kind of thing too.
They are. They're just not burning it.
Yeah. Of letting it float in the water. And so then it pans to everyone that's at the funeral. You see Aunt May's even there with Peter Parker.
Yeah,
everyone's there. Everyone that had an interaction with Tony Stark is there. Even the kid from Iron Man 3 is there.
Yeah, that you all guys saw that one kid that you didn't
The one teenage-looking kid that was standing alone near the back.
That you didn't recognize him, right?
Yeah, no, that's the kid from Iron Man 3.
Oh yeah.
From Tennessee.
The kid where he gave him a fucking taser.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then at the very back you see Samuel L. Jackson as Nick Fury. Tired of all these motherfucking feelings in these motherfucking movies.
All these motherfucking Don characters.
And then we get Happy and Morgan. We get the Iron Man director and Morgan. And he's all like, "Are you hungry? Yeah. What would you like? Cheeseburgers." Another callback to Iron Man 1 we get here. This callback. Yeah, because back in Iron Man 1.
Oh yeah, it's like after Star came home, it was like, I need two things: press conference and a cheeseburger.
Exactly. And so like it's just.
Yeah.
And so and then they still need to take all the stones back to their rightful place in time,
Which Captain America
happily does, and he even takes Mjolnir back with him to set Mjolnir straight.
Right.
So then he does all that, and again it's supposed to be like 5 seconds that he's supposed to be gone, and so he goes 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, but he doesn't come back.
Yeah.
And like Sam.
Roll credits.
So Sam and Bucky are there, and Sam's like freaking out, like where the hell is he? And Hulk's like he missed his timestamp. And then Bucky turns around and he looks at a bench that's right by the water, and he says, "Sam." And so then Sam walks up.
Guess who it is?
We see Old Man Steve.
Old Man Steve.
Steve.
That also got me right.
It did. It really does, because because even before like you see him, you're all like, he went back to go be with Peggy, didn't he? Like he went back.
Pick.
He went back to go be with Peggy.
This is yours.
Have a full life together.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, he went back and to just live something called life, something that he never got to experience because he was frozen under for 70 years. Yeah, and
then he passes off the shield to Sam.
Yeah, which means Falcon is the new Captain America.
Yeah. That's what I was thinking.
Yep.
Some people were thinking Bucky was going to be the next.
In the comics, it went back and forth between Bucky and Sam.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it did. But
see, that's the crazy part about that scene is literally with a slight variation of instead of Bucky going, "Go ahead, Sam." Instead, if he went up to do that, Cap would have passed the shield along to Bucky, which would have been like an epic, like, dude, no way, I'm the Winter Soldier, and Cap, let's go!
Well, what would you rather have, a Captain America with a metal arm or a Captain America with wings?
I'd rather have a black Captain America.
Yeah, no, that's, and then the final scene of the film is where we get to see young Steve with Peggy as they're dancing in their home. And then credits.
Credits.
And you know what happens after the credits?
Yeah.
It's the hammering.
Yeah,
the post-credit scene. Did you catch on to this, MCU fan?
Tink. The hammering?
Yeah.
No.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm surprised, because you caught the cheeseburger thing. That hammering sound effect is the hammering sound effect when Iron Man was making his suit.
In the first one.
Oh my god!
Yeah! See, I got that.
And he is less of a nerd than you are with the MCU.
Okay, so now that we basically summed up the film,
one thing I do want to say, and this came to mind like in the middle of the film. I think I can't remember if it was something I was watching on Netflix, but when they were opening doors, I swear to God, I heard the Minecraft like chest opening sound effect. I can't remember where. I think it was in the movie, but I'm not 100% sure. I'll have to watch it again.
Maybe we were thinking about what it would be like to see if it was made in Minecraft.
But I swear I heard that sound effect when we were opening doors.
But yeah, no.
So that was the plot synopsis, and this is probably the greatest MCU film ever to date. Yes, because this is what 10+ years has been building up to. Because this film, I think, is actually worse when it comes to. You need to have watched all the previous films to get the full impact of this film. It has that worse rule than Infinity War. So it is not newcomer friendly at all.
No. I mean, granted, if you wanted to watch it, Infinity War's on Netflix. You could just watch that, then come here and just not.
Oh yeah, because at least
Yeah.
Infinity War tries to catch you up with stuff.
Yeah.
Like something that I've said is the only MCU film that you really need to watch before Endgame is Infinity War.
Oh yeah, without a doubt. But if you want to know what happens in previous stuff before Infinity War,
You
have
gotta
to
watch all of them.
And get like some of the inside jokes like cheeseburgers and the fucking clinking sound.
Not necessarily.
Borderline, I
This
am
is
Iron
this is just like borderline MCU.
Even
high
the
up
line
references.
"I am Iron Man" is a callback to Iron Man 1.
Oh yeah, but that's like obvious. Some of them are obvious, some of them are not.
Yeah. America's ass. But anyways, so now can we just like spout some random stuff about the film?
Yes.
Sure. why not?
Alrighty, because I got stuff. Anyways, I came prepared. But no,
I did not.
He just pulls up a list out of his pants. I've been keeping it near my white pants this entire time.
But no. So some of this stuff is let's start with the title Endgame. So Endgame is a phrase used in chess when a majority of the pieces have been attacked and are no longer on the field, and it's near the end of the game. That's why it's called. We have now entered the end game. And it's not, and this actually isn't the only reference to chess that they've made in the MCU. Another reference that they've made to chess was actually back in Age of Ultron when Thor was about to leave to go back to Asgard, and like him, Iron Man, and Captain are talking together, and Thor's all like, this is the third of 6 Infinity Stones that have come up within the past few years. This isn't just a coincidence. We're pawns in a game. And so.
That part in Age of Ultron when Thor decided to take a bath.
That part when they were arguing whether or not an elevator is worthy.
Elevator is not worthy.
But basically, so that was a thing. That's just like a little like Easter egg thing, kind of. If they probably weren't even going for that. But that's just something I noticed. Another thing is the line "I am Iron Man" almost wasn't in the film.
Really?
It was a last-minute decision made by the Russo brothers. Originally, now this is going to shock you, originally, he said nothing.
Really?
There was no line there at all when he was going to snap his fingers. There was originally no line.
Why?
Because they didn't have anything for him to say. They didn't know what he should say. But then, like, literally a week before they were supposed to be done with the,
filming?
No, just like not just the filming, like everything.
Everything.
A week before they were supposed to be done with everything, they're all like, he needs to say something here. And so they had to come up with like a last minute thing. No matter he should have said basically they were saying like he should have said at least anything, like even if it was just like a quip, like it's your time is up, Barney the dinosaur, like anything like that. Okay, just like if he would have said like anything before the snap, it would have been fine. But then they're all like, you know what? I am Iron Man. That's a good one. Boom!
I mean, it was the last line of the first film.
It was. How much you want to bet they probably just like rewatched Iron Man 1 and is all like, let's just copy and paste that.
Oh man, but yeah. Anything else from the behind the scenes?
Not as far as not really that I can remember at the current moment.
Okay, well, I think this is we're in the end game now.
Yeah.
So after doing this podcast, what are your guys' new impressions of the movie?
I thought it was it was a really great movie, but I wonder like I guess where are we gonna go like from?
Oh yeah, the future.
Yeah.
I have no idea.
Spider-Man: Far From Home.
Yeah, we know that Far From Home is coming out later this year, and of course we'll be doing a podcast on that as well. Subscribe to our channel. Like
and Black Widow's movie. That's also being.
But she's dead now. I don't get it.
Maybe it's like a backstory to the movie.
Maybe
it's either going to be a backstory kind of movie, or it's just going to be like
how she.
But is that really how you should construct a Phase 4?
Endgame is the ending to Phase 3.
Yeah.
Well, actually, there's one person trying to get Spider-Man: Far From Home to be part of Phase 3.
Why?
Because Far From Home is kind of like an epilogue.
An epilogue?
It's like
Okay, I kind of see it now.
yeah, I can kind of see Spider-Man: Far From Home being like an epilogue kind of thing.
I
But,
forget what's an epilogue.
It's just like an after story after the last chapter.
Like 19 years later with Deathly Hollows.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay, sure.
Okay.
It's kind of just like a one final bit to like tie things up.
Yeah.
Something like that. Yeah. I remember back when Infinity War came so earlier like late last year, so near the beginning of the school year.
Yeah.
I remember seeing a petition on Reddit where people were trying to get the Thanos copter in Endgame.
Yeah, we write if it's not an Endgame.
Exactly. And I was like, I mean,
Thanos copter.
it would have been cool to see, but they're not gonna do it.
Thanos takes pants off.
What if on that farm planet, right next to his little shack, was the helicopter?
The Thanos copter.
Just like
Thanos has had many forms of transportation.
Thanos copter for one.
I think he even had his own car.
Thanos car.
The Thanos truck.
As an epilogue to Phase 3, so how did you construct a Phase 4?
Honestly,
show the new Avengers, like
Right.
Because like Falcon, he's supposed to be like the new Captain America, right?
Right.
Yeah. Actually, so there was a comic book line that was eventually made into two animated films, called The Next Avengers, where it was basically like all the Avengers kids becoming Avengers themselves.
I've seen that before.
It was like Tony Stark. It was like Tony Stark's kid. There was Captain America's kid.
Thor's kid.
Thor's daughter. It was basically like every single like Avenger had a child of some sort.
And they became Avengers.
That became like an Avenger. And so like I think it probably won't happen like right now, but I'm thinking like eventually somewhere down the line, I think they might do like a next Avengers kind of thing.
Probably. Like, with Falcon being new Captain America,
Yeah.
and I assume Pepper would be Iron Man, and maybe Morgan Stark would
Yeah,
come along.
Morgan eventually later later down the line. Might
Yeah,
eventually,
and maybe Valkyrie can be like the new Thor replacement.
Yeah,
or something.
and
Guardians of the Galaxy still have Thor with them. So
yeah, no, there's
Thor
actually
still be having
there are actually there's rumors going around that Thor might make one more MCU appearance in the next Guardians of the Galaxy film.
Okay.
Again, just rumors. Nothing has been confirmed. But oh shoot, where was it? I was gonna say something. There's also Hawkeye's kid.
Right, right.
That could eventually she could eventually train and be good enough to become a next Hawkeye.
Yeah.
And then I still think the actors still have contracts for like Doctor Strange, Black Panther, and Spider-Man. Yeah.
Now the big question is who's gonna be the next big villain? Because this is the Thanos era. What's gonna be the next big thing? Because
Well,
now Marvel has the rights to Fantastic Four.
Right.
So they could do Doctor Doom.
They could do Doctor Doom, or they could do Galactus.
Yes.
I would love to see a good Galactus. However, because Captain Marvel introduced us to the Skrulls, we might be doing the Secret Wars route as well.
That'd be very interesting.
There might be a Secret Wars event coming out where like we get the like whole espionage. Basically, the Skrulls and the Kree. It's kind of like symbolism for the Cold War, if you really think about it.
I mean, if you really, oh my god, we should have pointed that out.
Because the Skrulls do espionage because they're a shape-shifting race. They're able to infiltrate other races.
Yeah.
And so like you can have this entire espionage plot.
Well, basically, our analogy to it back in our Captain Marvel podcast, we said it was like World War II, and Ronan was Hitler.
If they did, but because they have the Skrulls, they could either go the Secret Wars route and still be able to introduce the Fantastic Four, or they could go like a Galactus route, or maybe even a Doctor Doom route, because
Yeah.
I would being a huge comic book fan and a huge Marvel fan that I am.
Yeah.
I've always wanted to see like all these great villains because I've always been a sucker for the villains.
Right.
My favorite part of anything has always been the villains because I love to see their motivation behind things. I love that, and like especially to see them on the big screen. Like when I first saw Ironmonger, I was just blown away by like the scale of the armor.
Right.
Like just being able to see all these, even Whiplash, even though he wasn't like a great villain, just being able to see him on screen come to life was fantastic. But because Marvel's like behind all these things, and because we've seen Marvel do great things, and because before the MCU started, comic book films were seen as a joke.
Oh yeah.
Comic book films were just a complete joke.
Terrible.
Blade. Daredevil. Steel. Was
Catwoman.
But yeah, no, comic book films were seen as a complete joke. But now with but then ever since Iron Man 1. The comic book films have become this giant money-making scale, and so because Marvel's behind this, we could actually get like a good Fantastic Four
and good X-Men films.
Yeah, so, especially now that we have X-Men again.
Yeah,
like we could even do a Civil War 2 because there was also the Civil War in this was the Sokovia Accords, which I thought was a really good thing to have a Civil War over. But there have been many Civil Wars throughout the Avengers lifespan, and so I would love to see a Civil War 2 where it's the whole X-Men rights movement. It's the whole mutant rights movement because in the original Civil War, what the original plot was. It was Captain America and Iron Man still fighting against each other, but it was over the rights for mutants. Where Captain America was for the rights,
which sounds more Civil War-ish.
Yeah, while Iron Man was against the rights of mutants, and so like it would just because again like it would even add to Captain America's storyline to be able to fight for a movement because the whole like mutant rights is supposed to be a mirror image to the whole African American rights,
right?
With Magneto and Professor X being mirrors of Malcolm X and
Jim Crow.
No, and Martin Luther King.
Mm-hmm.
Professor X was a Martin Luther King clone, and Magneto was a Malcolm X clone because Magneto focuses on rising up against the humans, while Professor X votes on like assimilating with the humans, being able to live in the same area and community.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. I'm opening his eyes to a whole new world, guys.
Yeah, the possibilities for Phase 4 are endless.
They really are.
They're just minor hints of what we'll get next, like the new Spider-Man film.
Dr. Doom could possibly be like a one-off villain in like a Fantastic Four film.
Maybe. I don't know. And we have the rights to Fox and just stuff from the MCU. We have like sequels.
With all these new heroes available, the possibilities are just endless.
Yeah, and the sequels to Doctor Strange. Deadpool 3, guys.
Yes.
And also, one more thing we need an answer to is Adam Warlock.
Who? I think that's going to be Guardians of the Galaxy 3.
All right.
I think it's going to be Guardians of the Galaxy 3 if the director actually focuses on plots. I'm still mad about the firing of James Gunn. I'm still mad about that.
Are they considering rehiring him?
There were rumors about it, but it wasn't confirmed at all. Actually, fun fact. So there's a billboard outside of Disneyland, and and it's pointing towards like in Disneyland. So if you're in Disneyland, you can actually see the billboard.
Yeah.
People actually paid to get a sign on the billboard that said "Rehire James Gunn."
Yes.
Yes, Alec.
What's Alex Warlock or what?
Adam
Warlock.
Adam Warlock. So.
Wait, is he like a warlock tiefling kind of?
No. he did you ever see Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2?
I seen part of it. I wasn't able to finish it.
Okay, did you? So then you haven't seen the end credit scene.
No.
Remember the Gold People?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, they created Adam Warlock.
Okay.
You want to know who we haven't seen in the MCU that I would love to see, especially since we had the Nova Corps?
Who?
Nova.
Just Nova.
Like the character of Nova, because Nova was actually.
I think that's just a missed opportunity.
I think it is.
Yeah, that's
the Nova
because
Corps gone.
Yo, Nova's the guy in the blue suit
Nova
with the
Corps is
yellow
gone,
helmet, right?
Yeah, he was partners with Spider-Man.
Okay, yeah. Was it Ultimate Spider-Man or something like that?
Yeah, no. Nova was a friend of Spider-Man.
Yeah.
There was also like White Tiger or something. Like
And
White
then
Tigress.
Iron Fist and Luke Cage.
Netflix guys canceled.
Yeah, exactly. All the Netflix shows is canceled because they got snapped away.
But yeah, I think all we can go off right now for Phase 4 is just whatever Spider-Man Far From Home will have.
Real quick.
Okay.
Okay, so if MCU does something with Fantastic Four, who would you guys want to play the Fantastic Four?
Ooh, that's a hard one.
No idea. No clue at all.
I don't. Well, let's see here.
Let's not start Chris Evans as Human Torch.
No, thank you.
Ryan Reynolds is Human Torch.
Oh god, I have no idea. Because I don't know the characters that well to give them an actor that suits their personality.
I have the opposite problem.
It's basically The Incredibles, but more extreme.
No, I know actors that can fit a certain personality. I just don't know the personality.
I don't know a lot of actors with personality. Like I don't know a lot of actors by names, but like
I just don't know the personality of the characters
too well.
I'm the opposite.
The guy, the Thor's friend, the rock guy, the actor who the actor who plays him should play the thing.
Oh, the director of Thor Ragnarok.
Wait, that was who?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I recently found that out.
Taika Waititi.
What did something India? After doing this podcast, what are your guys' thoughts opinions on the film now? Let's start with Bryan, like we did in the beginning.
I still have to say that it even though it has a lot of like plot convenience and plot holes, especially with the whole time traveling thing, because time traveling is never a good idea.
Like I said in the beginning, if you don't think about it too hard, it'll be okay. just watch. Don't think about it. I see you thinking about it.
Exactly. Just but I gotta stick with what I said at the beginning of how it's still a satisfying film.
Yeah.
It's still a film that like you can just watch it. You'll always get emotional. You'll always be satisfied with the ending, no matter what. Even if you don't know the characters, you'll still have a good time.
Yeah.
And so like that's all I gotta say about it. It's just a satisfying.
That's all you gotta say about it. All right, River.
I'm gonna stick with what I said in the beginning. It's still my new favorite MCU movie, and I liked it a lot.
Cool.
I cried a few times, and I should have worn the white pants.
All right, Alec.
Every time we say white pants, put a picture of white pants on the screen.
I'll do that.
I thought it was a really good movie, and I'm excited to see where they go next. Like with Phase 4.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Cool. Colin.
Okay. Personally, penis.
Me too.
Simpletons. Okay, so honestly, what I think about the movie, it is a really great movie. Honestly, I'm still gonna say best movie of 2019. I don't care what comes out. This is and will be the best MCU movie. Honestly, because I don't like a 10-year build up to this point. No MCU movie can top this.
Yeah,
of course, you can still go and enjoy MCU movies. I don't think there could ever be anything that could top this. Marvel, fuck you for your plot convenience and plot holes.
Fuck you for making Thor fat. No, I'm kidding.
Also, the 5 girls with Fortnite.
Since Thor is fat now you can cosplay as Thor.
Yep.
I'm not Thor fat. Raw X3. Ethan.
Okay, my thoughts on the film, like, it met my expectations of being heartbreak, but I didn't feel it in a tragic sense. I felt it in an uplifting sense. And after doing this now, I can see the plot convenience of a lot of parts in this movie. And there's a lot of attention to detail that it goes with. I love the fan service. And time travel is bullshit. I hate the time travel. It's like they try to establish the rules of time travel in it just so they can bend their own wills, but they ended up doing it. It's so dumb. I hate time travel in anything.
Just don't think about it too much.
Just don't think about it too much. It's perfectly good.
One last thing before we go. Even though it's only been out for 12 days, Avengers Endgame is now number 2 top grossing film.
Damn.
Of all time.
What's number 1?
Avatar from 2009.
Makes sense.
Can anybody name one character from Avatar?
The blue guy.
I've never even seen it.
Me either.
I remember seeing it kind of.
Yeah, me too.
I saw the trailer.
I saw the trailer, but I didn't actually.
I know
see
Zoe
it.
Saldana's in it. Gamora.
I just know that there are blue people and every part of them is blue.
Yeah, no, that's the only other film that's above Avengers Endgame right now. And again, Avengers Endgame has only been out for 12 days, so it's still making money.
Yeah.
And that's our podcast. I'm Think Dick Rick, aka Colin, signing off.
Yeah, guys, put all your plugs in here, whatever.
All right, I'm you first. You first.
Go ahead.
I'm the Soroxis. The link will be in the description. And yeah, that's it.
All right, Alec.
I want to make a YouTube channel.
Bryan.
What? I haven't got one.
Yeah. Are you sure? Yeah. What have you got? Have you got a Tumblr, a Reddit, an Xvideos account?
Well, now that you mentioned that,
Colin, do you have any plugs? Didn't you have a Twitch channel or something? No.
I had one. It burned. I burned it.
Well, this has been a fun time. You all would agree, correct?
Yes.
Much better than the Captain Marvel.
Wait,
with less sex.
definitely.
All right.
100% confirmed, guys.
All right. Thank you guys for watching.
Love you 3000.
Have yourselves a fantastic night, and love you 3000.